Check 1 2. 1 2 3. State championship, baby.
Mic check, 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 check. Bang! Touchdown, Cashion Wildcats. Ooh, that's loud. These are so nice. They fit really well. So. Good evening. Live from UCO and the beautiful campus here in Edmond, Oklahoma, Watland Stadium. It's state championship night here on a Saturday night for your Cashion Wildcats. It's here. We have waited so many months. The team has prevailed, and it's championship night here for the Cashion Wildcats as they take on the Thomas Terriers for all of the marbles, enchiladas, whatever you want to do. My name is Neba Nabavi. Joining me here on the top deck, third floor, south side of the deck is my man Chris Gibson. Chris, we have waited, we have talked, we have analyzed, we have cheered, we have cried, I've bled, I had a frozen toe one time at Rejoice, whatever the case may be.
We sweated at Rejoice.
We sweated at Rejoice, that's
OBA.
right. Yeah, OBA lost a pinky toe, but we're here, Chris. What a night.
Hey, man, I tell you what, before the game, I usually don't go down on the field. We just get up in the press box and set up. And today I said, Nima, we're going down on the field. I want to get a feel. And the boys came out about the time we were standing down there right where they come out of the locker room. And just that energy and feeling. And, I mean, you're just like, I'm ready to suit up. Let's go, you know. And, man, I'm so excited for these boys. And I'm so excited that they are back here for another chance just a year later to finish what they started. And a lot of these seniors were here last year. A lot of these juniors were here last year. And they want it bad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of almost a good thing, bad thing. Facebook has those time hop and memories that pop up. And, you know, over the last week or so, seeing those visions from last year's state title game, I almost wanted to throw my phone through the wall. But nonetheless, I was calmed down, Chris, because I was like, well, wait, we're playing for another one. We're here.
We're here.
The team has absolutely deserved it. Chris and I are so excited to have you join us here on an audio-only version of CashionWildcats.tv. If you do want to catch the video version, you can, and we're not obliged to do this, but since Chris and I are good people, we're going to let you know you can go to NFSH website. You can go there from the OSSA.com website, and you can watch it. I will warn you, there were some issues regarding audio and video through the course of the day, but you know you have your true and tried partners in crime, Chris and I here doing the game audio. Joining in the booth close to kickoff will be silky smooth Chad Tishner. He'll be taking over the play-by-play call duties as I run down to the field and do my thing down there. But Chris, you know, we have our regular segment. Obviously, it's extra special since it's a state title. You know, from your standpoint, we had the send-off today. You know, have you had a crazy, hectic week? Has it been exciting? As you kind of speak for all of us here in Cashion.
I mean, it's one of those things in Cashion where this is what everybody kind of is geared up for. Everybody's happy. We made it to the semifinals, and that was a big week. We played Pahuska, and that was a big game. But semifinals is kind of like, okay, that's just the next stepping stone. We're ready for the state championship. And this week it was like, you know, normally, you know, I might talk to Tishner, I might talk to you about the game. This week, every single person I talked to was, hey, how do we look? How do we look? Yeah. What do you think? Is Thomas City different than the first time? What do you think? And, man, it's been awesome to get to talk to people and just feel the energy around Cashion and around this football team and around this school and community that we've had this week.
Amen. And that started earlier today as well. That continued earlier today. We had the the quarterback legends pregame show.
That was awesome.
We had Lane Broadbent. We had a ton of great folks, Jeremy Seaton, Cochran, as well as Reasoner on there. And I was able to bring in some of the younger pups and Matt Harmon and as well as Griffin Lamb. And it was a great show. If you won't probably have time now, but if maybe later on, hit up CashionWildcats.tv archive, take a look at that pregame show earlier. And again, it was a wonderful afternoon as the send-off with the team on the buses and left town, all the wonderful signs. And that's the beauty of small-town football. There's nothing that can replace it anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I had to leave early and come and go to the fifth grade Cashion Wildcat basketball game in Edmond, and we left at 2. And it was awesome leaving town. It was just like I was getting pumped up going to the fifth grade basketball game, just looking at all the signs. I mean, there's a sign about every quarter of a mile for all the way into Edmond. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So we're so glad and thankful that you guys have joined us here on Cashion Wildcats TV. We're just fortunate and blessed to be here. It's been a great run. We saw our man Nate Fakin earlier from Channel 4 and say, how can you not be positive, right? Chris, you were saying it's hard to not be happy and positive following this team and the successes. It's just been phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And it's not just football. I mean, it's the whole – as a whole, Cashion Schools is just a positive from the administration all the way down to the youngest little kid in the school. Everybody's
right.
is there and as a group and as a whole, and it's an awesome community to be a part of.
Well, we've got about 39 minutes till kickoff. I'll be heading down here in about 25 minutes or so. We definitely are going to go to commercial, but before we do that, we got to thank everybody involved on a wonderful season thus far. I know we'll give out our kudos at the end of the game, but again, we can't do this without our awesome administration at Cashion Public Schools, Sammy Jackson, Coach Hardaway, as well as Coach Shackelford, our sponsors, and really all of our awesome business partners and sponsors here to make this right. We got a great new sounding mixing board. I don't know if we're going to take it or not, but we've got great equipment, and it doesn't happen without you guys to continue to improve our product. Again, Shape Up Fitness, Gateway Realty, Grain and Grange, Rural Pest Solutions, Diesel Horse Sports and Orthopedics, Coffee Creek Church, Maple Nix and Diesel Horse, Cashion All Sports, Pioneer, Legacy Insurance with Chris Gibson and Cochran, Wiggin, Sewell, and Ogletree, Community State Bank, Intrust Insurance Agency, Blue Ribbon Construction, Absolute Pools and Landscaping, Christy Perry, Attorney at Law, Water Heater Man, and Cashion First Baptist Church. Again, thank you so much to all of you for watching. We had 14,000 for our quarterfinals game. We had over 22,000 watching the Pawhuska game of the week. We had 9,000 people watching our pregame. And we can't, again, we really, really appreciate and can't do this without you all. So with that, we'll go to a quick commercial. Be right back as Chris breaks down the Thomas Terriers, Cashion's foe here, and keeping them from getting another gold ball.
At Water Heater Man, we specialize in repairing and replacing all water heaters. We service the OKC Metro and surrounding towns with fast, reliable service. We keep our vans fully stocked with essential parts needed for basic repairs, and new tanks are always on the vans ready to go. We offer free estimates on all jobs with financing options available. We match manufacturer's warranty for all newly replaced water heaters. We'll get your water heater back up and running as fast as possible so you don't have to put your life on hold waiting for service. Give us a call today. 405-844-TANK. That's 405-844-8265. Go Wildcats!
All right, welcome back to Watland Stadium here on the campus of UCO, University of Central Oklahoma, where it's Cashion Wildcat football one more night to get to 16-0 and bring home that gold ball to Cashion where it deserves. I'm Neiman Ababi. Joining me up here in the upper north-south or the upper southwest side of the press box is my man Chris Gibson. Chris, as we see the teams warming up and the cowbells ringing, you talked about the excitement, man. I've got chills. Everything on me is ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, the excitement. And you know, I watched the Washington and Metro Christian game early on, and you see the excitement there. And it doesn't matter who you are, what class you are. If you're here playing in Watland, that's a cool thing about the last 2 years, and I think they're going to do it for the next 2 or 3 years.
Maybe even 10. Who
knows?
As
a central location, this is the place to be playing in December. And what is awesome about this game is this is the last high school football game of 2020, and we are playing in it. Love it.
Love it. Love it. Chris bringing all the knowledge. Chris, so with that in mind, we've got the Thomas Terriers. We've seen them before. Well, we've seen them before even in a state title game back in, I think, 2014. Chris, what are some of the things that we need to be looking for as we're listening to you call the game with Chad Tishner?
Yeah, Thomas Fay Custer. I mean, they have a football program that is second to none when it comes to class and tradition. This team embodies the Terrier teams that have played before it and are as tough as they come. This team has had endured adversity the last 2 weeks. Just to kind of run down their road to get here, 3 weeks ago they played Pawnee. They were down 20-7, made a comeback, won that game 35-34 on a last-second stand at the goal line. Then at the last week when they played in the semifinal game against Ringling, they were down 20-7. with 5 minutes left in the game, they were still down 2 touchdowns. Wound up coming back, and we all know how hard it is to score on Ringling. We played against them last year. They scored 2 touchdowns with less than, about 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes left on the
That was
in the
actually
game,
it was
in the
4
fourth
and
quarter.
change. Yeah, it was 4 and change. Yeah.
They scored 2 touchdowns in that amount of time to win that game 20 and banked an extra point off the goalpost to win that game 28-27. So to say they are tough is probably and gritty and one has heart. This Thomas Terrier has that. Cashion faced off with this Terrier team in week 4 of the regular season and came out on top 28-7. That means nothing right now. Nothing. This Terrier team is a lot more battle tested and a lot more settled in than that team the Wildcats faced in week 4, which was only week 2 for them.
Yep, that's right.
But I think the Wildcats might have got a little better too. This is the 13th game since that game that the Cashion Wildcat team has played. So they are better. Not only just both teams are better, just because you get better as you go along. But one thing the Cashion Wildcats have this game that they didn't is number 20 Justice Broadbent, and that's one thing I want to see how they put him in and see how he goes and plays against this Thomas Terrier team with the speed that they show. Offensively, the Thomas Terriers, they're going to line you up. They're going to spread you out. They're going to want to try to really, a spread team, you think pass, right? Well, they aren't just a aired out team. They're still a run first team. They spread you out. They get their quick, fast running back the speed they have, and some of their receivers the ball, and try to get them on the edges, try to do some zone blocking, and try to just find a crease for their speedy running backs. And they have done a great job of that. Defensively, they'll line up in a 3-4 run with their big guys up front. They have the power and the quickness to really to wreak havoc up on that front line, and then in the secondary. I mean, everybody remembers they have a really good, from that first matchup.
Yep.
We made some good big plays down the field, but they were right there. I mean, they've got speed, they've got length in that back secondary that they can really cause trouble. But here's the thing: we've seen it, we know what they have. They've seen what we have. This game is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see how these two teams match up for the rematch.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And just looking at the Terriers' schedule, 12-1. Their opponent's record is 89-63. So a little bit different when seeing Pawhuska last week, who proved to be every bit worth of that that number one ranking after losing to Cashion. We look back and go, hey, that defense was for real. But Thomas comes in with an opponent record of 89-63, almost 59%. Big wins against Hooker in district. That was a 17-14 win. And another close game to Texoma, 13-7. They faced off against 6 teams with winning records. Again, as you alluded to, they beat one of our second-place team, Tonkawa. That's another similar foe, 44-8 in the second round. And, of course, as you mentioned, those 1-point victories over Pawnee and Ringling. When we think about Cashion, well, what a game. If you were one of the 21,000 people watching online, you got it was free of charge on Squirtle.com. You got a good one. The Cashion Wildcats basically playing lame duck offensively for 3 quarters, almost 3.5 quarters, living and dying on their defense, holding the mighty Pawhuska Huskies, who almost averaged 66 points a game, breaking the single-season scoring record for any offense of any class in the state of Oklahoma, holding them on multiple red zone opportunities, and just allowed just the one touchdown to happen after starting on the Cashion 32. Cashion basically bent but did not break, and all it took was one drive there. Cashion starting on their own 9-yard line in the fourth quarter, hitting Landon Lagasse on a tunnel screen. Then a huge play to Mason Manning to midfield. He landed on his back, diving out to make an unbelievable call. And the very next play after that was a 52-yard strike go route to Lagasse again for the touchdown. Extra point by the doctor. The doctor, Lance Christensen, all-important kicking. put it through, and the Cashion Wildcats hang on, get another stop, another interception, and win 7-6. Ben Harmon, it was not his typical night, but it was enough. 11 for 23 for 142. He did have that one touchdown to Lagasse. Brexton Green came into the Wildcat. I love seeing that, Chris. Did you like that?
Oh, yeah, especially when we were up, give him the ball, let him run that clock out, and whenever he was going in and did the old kneel, not to get in the end zone, to let that time run out, loved seeing him back there, and it just gave another dimension to the Wildcat offense.
Yeah, he probably would have had over 100 yards rushing. He had to take a few victory snap or kneel downs and run out the clock. Lagasse, again, 4 receptions, 85, no one bigger than that 52-yarder for a touchdown. And Jacob Farrell, what can you say about the human wrecking ball? The kid had 13 total tackles, was an absolute nightmare for Pawhuska, and finished off really on a really strong note.
Oklahoman fan player of the week.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
to
thanks
him.
for all those folks that went out and voted. Well deserved for our man Jacob Farrow, the senior, number 34 team captain, with a big night, 13 tackles, and we'll need another one from him as well. If you look at the stats from last week's game, it definitely speaks to defense, as both teams definitely averaged well above the numbers they had there. A lot of folks figured that Pawhuska driving and having all those opportunities inside the red zone would have outgained Cashion, but ironically it was Cashion with 296. They were working on a short field the whole night. Cashion finished with 296 yards, 137 passing, 159 rushing, very balanced. The 71 yards rushing from the Pawhuska Huskies was mostly from the feet of superstar quarterback Bryce Drummond. But ultimately, it came down to who wanted it most in the fourth quarter, and that was the Cashion Wildcats.
Yeah, just one of those games where you were sitting on the edge of your seat every single play, every single snap, because either team had that capability of scoring on every single play. And when that's the case and the score is only 6-7, that is a nerve-wracking game, but I loved every second of it.
Well, Chris, I don't think, the Cashion sideline, they were confident. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to lose this game. The body language was great. Everyone was cheering. And I think we all could just feel we just need one play to break this open and win this game 7-6. So with that was last week's wrap-up, a little bit about Thomas. We're going to go to a quick timeout here on Cashion Wildcats TV. Hang tight with us after a minute or so. We'll be back here with Chris's players to watch and keys to the game.
Gateway Realty is a mother-daughter team that has a heart for small-town life. Both Anita and Kelly were born and raised in Cashion and are still raising their families here. Their family homesteaded in Cashion in 1908, and it's been home ever since. Anita and Kelly know this town, love this town, and would love to help make this your home too. For a friendly face and trustworthy knowledge, call these hometown girls at 405-641-7388. Go Wildcats! Cashion Shape Up Fitness is locally owned and operated with no contracts or sign-up fees. Our rates start at only $30 per month, and we have tanning available. Everything you need to work on your health and fitness. So contact Amber Lee to sign up today. 405-538-8248. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Cashion Shape Up Fitness.
I'm Todd Miller, and this is Grain and Grange, the coolest furniture store you've never heard of. Come see us.
Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
At Maples Nixon Dieselhorst, we've helped a lot of people, and our goal was to treat each and every person like a friend. And as a friend, we've got your back always. We understand what you're going through. Being lawyers is what we do, but it's not all that we are. We care. We'll stand beside you throughout the entire legal process, not just as lawyers, but as your friends. We are Maples Nixon Dieselhorst, and we are here to help.
Have a pest problem? Call Rural Pest Solutions today. We offer as-needed services as well as a variety of treatment schedules. We're family-owned and operated, and we specialize in treating life's smallest problems: spiders, ants, roaches, termites, mice, and more. For both residential and commercial, we're ready to solve your pest problems today. So call Rural Pest Solutions in Cashion, 405-238-6565. Proud supporter of Wildcat athletes.
Stream like the pros with Squirtle Live. Find out more at squirtle.com/stream.
Wiggins, Sewell, and Ogletree is dedicated.
Welcome back to the beautiful campus of University of Central Oklahoma, Watland Stadium. It's state championship night for Class A football. As Chris alluded to earlier, they saved the best for the last, and it's your Cashion Wildcats versus the Thomas Terriers. Here tonight for all the marbles, for everything under the sun, the gold ball. We're finally here, Chris, and I'm so grateful that we were able to make it. I know we were talking about COVID-19 and all that stuff earlier, but Cashion's going to have a chance to go 16-0 in an amazing year here in 2020 to cap off this year. What a way to do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that itself is one of the craziest stats that you will ever see, just because of the year that everybody in this world has had with COVID-19. For us to go through the season and have already played 15 games, which is the most wins for a Cashion team in 1 year ever, and now to play our 16th game in the state championship, a chance to go 16-0, to be the only team in the history of Oklahoma to go 16-0. That's the possibility and what's in front of the Cashion Wildcats tonight.
It's amazing. So Chris has done a great job of breaking down the Thomas Terriers. We talked about the Cashion game last week. As the Minko Bulldogs are being recognized at midfield for their academic football championship. We have the football title to think about. And before we jump any further, Chris, what are your players to watch for the Thomas Terriers tonight? And actually, it won't be to watch. I guess it'll be to listen to here on the audio-only broadcast of CashionWildcats.tv.
Yeah, I have 5 guys that I really want to highlight. And these 5 guys you will hear a lot about tonight from Chad Tishner and myself. And they rely on these guys to – and they will live and die by these 5 guys. Senior running back, number 23, Ethan Hamberlin. The kid is fast, very hard to tackle, and can make you pay big time if you don't fly to the ball, swarm tackle, wrap up, and play to the whistle. He's a kid that getting out there on the edge, if he gets out of a tackle, he can reverse his field and make huge plays. Number 4, senior wide receiver, Noah Rainwater. The kid's fast, he's tall, he's rangy. He makes great plays on the ball when it's up in the air, and he's actually the kid that scored the 1 touchdown against us in the earlier matchup in the year. Number 7, senior quarterback Jackson Ward. He is the son of the coach, Coach Ward's son. He had I think it's an ACL injury last year and did not get to play, worked really hard, had a great offseason, and made his way back. So this kid right here is a tough, gritty kid that has more fight in him than most, and he will be the heart and soul of this this Thomas Terrier offense. And he's gotten a lot better since that first matchup that we played Thomas in September, and he will be a kid that you're going to hear a lot about tonight. Defensively, number 71, I mean,
You can't miss that guy.
one word, I was like, one word to describe this guy, beast. I mean, he is a beast. He was down there when we were down on the field. He came walking by, and a kid like that walks by you, you know why he is already signed with OSU, is just because he is one of those freak athletes that's just a huge kid that has agility, has speed, and has the strength to kind of do whatever he wants whenever he wants. And that right there is going to be he's going to be that kid on the front line that's really going to be the heart and soul of that side of the ball. Number 53, junior defensive lineman Camden Billy. Another huge – did I ever say his name? Aiden Kelly, number 71.
You said, it doesn't matter. We know who 71 is. If you've been watching and following Class A football, you know exactly who Aiden Kelly is.
So, and then, right on the other side of that line, the opposite side of that line, number 53, junior defensive line, Camden Billy. He's another huge kid up front that has strength and can really muscle his way through the offensive line of any opposition. So those two guys up front for the Thomas Terriers are going to be two guys that you're going to hear play after play, making plays, getting through the line, and definitely going to have to account for them tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As you were running down that, I know when we were watching film of the Thomas Terriers, even in the early of the season, 23, the Hamberlin kid. I know the Kelly kid has got a D1 ride, and I know every bit of him in terms of his athleticism and his size is it's well earned.
Yes.
In terms of the look. He's a 4-star kid. But the best athlete for Thomas on the field, bar none, both sides of the field, in my opinion, is Ethan Hamberlin. That kid had 2 picks on Ben Harmon in the game against us. He made life difficult on those other catches.
Yeah. And those interceptions weren't just thrown right to him.
No.
I mean, he caught up, made good cuts, breaks on the ball, and earned them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a really and watching that game against last week against Ringling, who have a phenomenal defense. They're well coached, always great tackling. He was slipping and sliding and working through, juking and making moves. And so, in my opinion, that Hamberlin kid is definitely is a double star player to watch, or in the case of us tonight, listen to on CashionWildcats.tv. So, Chris, we've gone through a lot. My man, Silky Smooth, Chad Tishner's joined us. Chad, welcome to the booth.
Oh, man, it's great to be up here. I took the stairs, so got a little workout.
Got your breath?
Yeah, I got a little workout.
That's kind of steep. It's not
you
an
gotta
easy.
test yourself every once in a while.
Yeah, well, good for you. You made it, though.
Yeah, I'm here.
And you're
See
smiling.
how long?
Yeah.
There's barbecue in there if you're hungry.
All right, I'm ready. Let's get halftime here. I'm going to eat.
Yeah, we Chris and I only do this so we can get to the state title game so we can get free barbecue in the hospitality room up here in the booth. But
no
we are so lucky and fortunate to have Chad up here. Chad, thank you for coming up and doing the game as I go down and be a part of the kind of what's happening in the field with the team tonight. We've gone through players to watch. We've gone through Thomas in itself. Before we go down to keys to the game for Cashion, Chad, I'm going to put you on the spot. Any thoughts from your perspective on Thomas that you'd like to kind of offer up?
No, I just kind of dug into it, a little bit this week. Had a little time, kind of sit down and really focus on, not just this matchup, but the history of both programs, which I'm sure you guys have alluded to in your time today. So, but just, Coach Ward, he's a great guy. I've actually known Coach Ward longer than I've known Coach Shack.
Yeah.
So, Coach Ward and I coached together at Little Axe, which was my first coaching stop 21 years ago. So, it's pretty interesting.
So, I think one of the great things about having Chad here, you doing the play-by-play, is just that history, that coaching history, that understanding, everything that goes into play in regards to what's happening in the game and all those players that are involved. Not when I say players, not kids on the field, but all the pieces and components and all the wonderful personalities that are part of this game today, for sure. We do have the national anthem going on. I think we're going to go ahead and just kind of keep going. So respect to the United States of America. As you guys know, we love this country, greatest country in the entire galaxy. So, Chris, as we think about keys to the game, what are your thoughts there?
Okay, offensively, the O-line execution is going to be huge. We just talked about the two big guys up front in Aiden Kelly and Camden Billy. I know Shaq and Coach Robertson have a game plan and a scheme to stop those big boys up front, and the O-line will need to follow that to a T this evening to take those big boys of Thomas out of their game. That'll be a huge part of the key on the offense. And then the next key for the offense is win on first down. We need to get positive yards on first down. That way we're not behind the chains where they can't really just pin their ears back and come after Ben. You want to be able to kind of have that playbook open on second and third down and really be able to be effective and have time for the players to get in those positions to make plays. Defensively, protect the edge. Do not let Hamberlin get to the edge. Turn the Terrier speed back into the teeth of our defense and swarm the football. They're really wanting to try to get on that edge. That's where they live and die. They live and die with that speed. And then the cutback lanes, we have to make sure we turn them back into our linebacking core that are sure tacklers and that have the speed of their own. Swarm the football and make sure tackles. Every Wildcat will need to fly to the ball and make sure and to bring down and go hard until the whistle is blown. I watched in that Pawnee game that Thomas played and the Ringling game. There was a few times they thought they had the Hamberlin kid kind of wrapped up and down. Well, they didn't. He got out and made it like a 60-yard. Yep. That's kind of what sprung them on the Pawnee game to get their comeback was that play. They kind of had him hemmed up on the sideline, cut it back through the middle of the field, and went and scored like a 60-yard touchdown. So we have to fly to the ball, get there, make good tackles. So offensively, O-line execution, win on first down. Defensively, protect the edge and swarm the football. And then the one that I always say every single game, and everybody should already know, win that turnover battle. We didn't put that on there, but that's
a given.
That's a given in a
Chris.
championship football game. Take care of the football.
Absolutely, and everything is predicated off that jet sweep. We've heard it, we've seen it. Coach Mendenhall talked about it from OBA as well. And so, getting the ball in short, and in essence, keeping the yardage short when the Hamberlin kid has it is definitely going to be key. And you said it earlier, Chris. You talked about one big difference between this game and the last one is the entrance of number 20, the heat-seeking missile, Justice Broadbent. And, he is a difference maker out on the edge and certainly is somebody who can negate any type of team speed that we've seen here thus far this season.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just adding Justice Broadbent in makes his defense so much faster and it frees up some of those other guys to really get into their position and make good plays, and knowing that he's going to be on that edge, just like we saw, I think, in a few games this year where Justice got out there, turned the ball in, and here comes Braxton Green flying downhill and just laying people out from that safety position because he knew Justice was going to get there, turn them back in, and he didn't have to worry as much and just frees everybody up. So, having him back and in this game is going to be a huge, huge key to the game too.
Yes, it's a beautiful night. It's cold. I'm not going to lie to you. It is cold, and I've got extra pair of socks. I know you guys were worried about me at the OBA game. I have an extra pair of socks in my pocket. I'm going to put them on. Adidas, those Ultra Boosts, they don't necessarily make them too thick anymore. And I'm not walking down there with cowboy boots or my North Face snow boots, so I'm not going to do that. So I'll have to double down on the socks.
Get some of Liz's Uggs.
We know Neiman's got ski boots, so I'm not sure what.
No, I snowboard. Anyway, so we've got about 11 minutes here till kickoff. We definitely will send you to a commercial here. When we come back, we'll have Chris's predictions. And we'll have our final thoughts as we get ready for kickoff. 2020 Class A state title right here from UCO.
Dedicated to championing our clients through complicated and challenging litigations. We pride ourselves on a proven track record of success brought forth by fierce litigation skills. The lawyers and staff of our firm are dedicated to effective and personalized representation for every client who entrusts our service. Uncompromising integrity, unparalleled results. Call Wiggins, Sewell, and Ogletree, 405-232-1211. For 31 years and counting, Community State Bank has taken great pride in being your hometown bank. With branches located in Cashion, Dover, and Hennessy, CSB strives to reflect the small-town hospitality these communities are known for. Our friendly staff is here to serve you and provide one of the best banking experiences around, equipping our customers with the latest in banking technology combined with a personal, down-home relationship. Come into one of our local branches or visit us at www.mycsb.com. Community State Bank, small-town banking, the way it should be. Member FDIC. Christy Perry is a Cashion-based attorney providing clients in Oklahoma with trusted, experienced legal counsel regarding wills and trusts, bankruptcy, and other areas of law. Flexible scheduling is available to discuss your options, and your first consultation is free. If you need assistance regarding a legal matter, call your local Oklahoma licensed attorney, Christy Perry, at 918-373-0882.
Hey, it's Chris here. The Cashion Wildcats have a legacy of success. Hard work and being prepared is how that legacy is protected. Home, auto, business, or life, the agents at Gibson Legacy Insurance will do the hard work to make sure you are prepared and your legacy is protected. Call or text me today at 405-283-3947 for your free insurance quotes. Go Wildcats!
Absolute Pools, Lawns, and Landscape is not your ordinary pool builder. From traditional to exotic and anything in between, our staff offers paramount quality and service through the entire design and build process. We provide service to the entire OKC metro and surrounding towns. So relax, knowing our team is wholeheartedly committed to building a trusting and lasting relationship with you. Visit us on Facebook or give us a call today at 405-285-9729. Absolute Pools, Lawns, and Landscape.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers.
Talk about a win-win.
Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
Cashion FBC is a church seeking to grow in Christ and our love for the body of Christ. With ministries from children to youth to adults, we strive to present the gospel in an engaging and meaningful way. Sunday school meets at 9:45 a.m. and worship starts at 11 a.m. Children and youth meet on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Please check our website at cashionfbc.org for more information, and we hope to see you this Sunday, located a half-mile east of Cashion. All right, welcome back to Watland Stadium here on the beautiful campus of UCO. Our captains for both teams are now out on the field, and we have our coin toss representing the Northeast Oklahoma Officials Association is our officiating crew this evening. Referee Jay Porter, umpire Alan Forrest, linesman Carl Lochner, line judge James Gilman, and back judge Tony Hex. And it looks like, Chris, we're about 7 minutes away from kicking this thing off as in the break, we were talking about how this was 53 weeks ago. We were up here in this same press box. I think we were on the other end last time with the visitor side. But anyway, we're here again. We're so fortunate, blessed to be here and be able to call this game and watch these Cashion Wildcats and Thomas Terriers go out and play. The coin toss has completed, and Cashion wins and will take the ball and receive, which we know is very consistent with Coach Shackelford and the Wildcats when they win that toss.
Yeah, I mean, if we win the toss, Shaq wants the ball, go fast, go to the end zone, let's go score, get on the board early and often. Going into this game, you know, I was looking at all the film, trying to figure out, okay, what kind of score do I want to predict for this game? You know, I always predict the score. And, you know, going back and watching film and watching that very first game, and I just wanted to go back and see what looks different between the two games, or, you know, the two teams. You know, I went and watched our game, and then I went and watched the game against Ringling, the game against Pawnee for Thomas. And, you know, looking at those games, I saw two teams that really kind of, you know, early on Thomas looked good. I mean, they looked physical.
Right.
They're a big physical bunch up front. Later on, same thing. They looked the same other than the fact they looked a little more settled in.
Yep.
But the thing is that we are getting better right along with them. So my score for this game, I'm predicting 28-7.
I like it. It's going
Cashion Wildcats
going with that
winning.
consistency line. I like it.
Sir.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, watching the Thomas film from last week against Ringling is, I thought their game plan against Ringling was pretty consistent to what it was against us, in our fourth game of the season, their second game of the season, a little earlier for them. But, same thing. They're living off the edge, trying to beat, people to the edge, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But Hammerlin's a good enough athlete that there's going to be enough instances where he's going to make a play. And so we'll see. I like your thought there, and like I said, I think you're right on it. Here comes Cashion. They're entering the field, coming through the tunnel. Thomas already out, and you're starting to see this environment and this atmosphere get going. So, you can't beat a state final atmosphere in any sport for that matter. I mean, it's just so fun to watch these communities come out and support these programs. So, they got the big screen going up with highlights from previous games from both teams, and man, just really excited to get this thing going. But back to that, Chris, your thoughts of how these teams stack up. What are we, 3 months down the road from the initial matchup? And, it's just going to be interesting to see. And I think we will see early, I think especially from the Thomas side offensively, what, if any, changes do they make to that game plan that really wasn't very effective way back, early on in the season against Cashion.
Yeah, and I went back and watched some of the Thomas games and listened to some of their broadcasts, and their broadcast crew, they kind of say it. Coach Ward, he gets a script to the first of the game, and he sticks to it until he kind of sees what's going on, and then he makes it what we faced last week. Right.
Yeah, I agree. On the ride over, my boys and I, we like to talk sports and talk football, Cashion football especially, and on the way over, we kind of decided and maybe thought that what you mentioned, that toughness and just the all-out pressure and physicality that Pawhuska brought and surviving that might ultimately be a big positive for us here tonight. Especially for Ben Harmon back there in that pocket. I mean, he had to fight tooth and nail every single time he dropped back to try to survive and get the ball off. And, having gone through that and, face that, maybe that makes him a little more comfortable. And let's be honest, last year in this game, Ben wasn't real comfortable either, in that game against Ringling. And so maybe all those experiences have maybe culminated to the point where, hey, now, Ben's going to be able to settle in and get a little more comfortable in a big game atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely that game last week. And that's the thing. A lot of people I've heard this week saying, is there going to be any emotional letdown from either team, really, because both teams were in a dogfight last week. And these are 17, 18, 16-year-old kids. They could care less. They are so pumped up, ready to get out there. The only thing I can say that they will carry over from last week is the fact that just that speed of that game last week will help this game slow down a little bit.
That's what I think. The way Thomas plays, they're really not kind of as foot on the gas pedal as Pawhuska is. Yep. I think they're more sound, solid in objectives and responsibilities. But they don't seem to hit the accelerator quite as consistently as Pawhuska. So I do think you're right there that this might slow down a little bit. But speaking from experience and being in state, championship, state tournament type, there's no letdown. You're trying to reel kids in more than you're trying to pump them up, I promise. Yes. So these kids are not going to there won't be any letdown from either side here. Both coming off huge emotional victories last week in the semifinals, huge. And, there will be no lack of emotion or want to today, I promise you. We're 1 minute and 20 seconds, kind of a weird situation here. Both teams have been out on the field since the 4-minute mark here in the pregame. And nobody's left the field. The officials are just kind of grouped up there on the C of the UCO emblem right there on the 50. And they're just kind of hanging out, talking. A couple Cashion kids there hanging out with the officials, and they're just letting this thing tick down. And we're now right at 1 minute from kickoff. So here we
Neiman
go.
can't be on a mic being down there on the field for some reason, COVID rules or something,
Right.
But he can text us, and he is going to be chiming in throughout this game via text. And he just texted me. He said, onside with a question mark. And I said, no way they do that. But the thing is, Thomas has done a lot of onsides the last couple weeks and throughout this year, so that's something that we really do need to be prepared for and be ready for and keep an eye on if you're on the Cashion sideline.
Well, you've seen that enough over the years in Class A football. You always have to be prepared for anything and everything on the kickoff. It could be a pooch, onside, or whatever, but here we go. Still 20 seconds on the pregame. Number 10 for Thomas, Ryan Looper. He's ready to kick, but our clock has not been set yet. He's got his hands up. He's ready to go. White hat here back in the end zone. Jay Porter is just staring at that clock. We got 12 minutes on it. So here we go. Ryan Looper will kick off, and back for Cashion. Looks like Brexton Green and Max Brown. And there's the kick. It is a deep kick to the sideline. Green will take it on the 30. He'll break right sideline, follow some blockers. Up to the 45, 50, one man to beat. Gets tripped up, and he'll be brought down by a couple Terriers, but a great return and a great start there for Cashion as Brexton Green brings it all the way down to the Thomas side of the field. It looks like Cashion will start 1st and 10 on the 37-yard line of Thomas.
Yeah, Brexton brought that ball in right there on the sideline, on that far sideline, and he just got right behind some blockers and did kind of his Brexton Green style run where he just uses those blockers and sneaks in behind, and then whenever he sees a gap or something to get, he goes.
Harmon back at quarterback. Got Harrell back there with him. Looks like twins left. A single split to the right. Looks like that is Brexton out by himself to the right of Ben. Ben in the shotgun. Now Brexton will motion back to the backfield. And he'll set up to Harmon's left. Harmon will take the snap, and he'll go Brexton Green on the first carry. Flag down on the play. Nothing there is right up the middle. That thing is stymied quickly, and it looks like big old number 71 right there on the first play was in there on the stop, Aiden Kelly.
First play of the game, Shaq said, we are going to go at your best player, see what you can do, and their best player made a stop. But here's the thing with Shaq. He will go attack their best player, wear him down, and as this game goes on, he thinks that that will be something that they can use and come back to.
And interesting there, illegal formation, the call against Cashion, and Thomas accepts the penalty even though Cashion had no gain. Now, left side to Mason Manning, little bubble action over to the left. That scared me a little bit because that looked like almost a lateral, and Mason didn't react after it slipped through his fingertips, and luckily it is called incomplete forward pass. And now 2nd down and 15 for Cashion, as after that big return, they kind of have been stymied here early in this possession.
Yeah, that's one of those things right there where it hits his hands. He catches that 90% of the time, and in a big game, the excitement as the game goes on, he'll catch that ball.
Now trips left, Harmon. He'll go bubble again to Manning. He'll try to make a move, gets a good block from Navabi and makes another one miss, and he'll be pushed out of bounds as he kind of slipped by Jackson Mannering there and gets pushed out of bounds for looks like a gain of about 9 yards here, and Cashion will be facing 3rd and 6.
Yeah, on 2nd down there with behind the chains, one of my keys to the game was win first down. We definitely did not win first down, but that 2nd down play right there got him in a position for a 3rd down play right here in the field. It is a 4 down territory for Shaq and this offense, so 3rd down is very manageable right here.
Now trips left, twins right, Harmon in the backfield by himself. He's going to quarterback draw here up the middle. He'll get about 2 or 3 quickly, but then it is shut down. That second level there looks like that was linebacker number 58, Davin Stewart, who kind of mans that middle of the second level of the Thomas defense, and now we're 4th and 4.
Yeah, I mean, Ben kind of just dropped by. Was back in I don't know if it was a designed quarterback draw or not, but he tucked it and got those 2 yards, 4th down.
Now Harmon, he'll go to Green left side. A lot of traffic. He's going to have to make somebody miss, and there's a big collision, and Brexton Green will be knocked out short. Looks like number 24, Jackson Mannering there.
There is a flag on the play. I think it may be where it was. I think it's probably a holding on the one of the Cashion receivers, but the offense is staying out there on the field.
We'll see. I didn't see that flag. That's a good catch there. Penalty flag on the play. Waiting for the call. Looks like Cashion coaches thinks this is going to be a first down Cashion, maybe a face mask. Waiting for the call. They're looking over here. I bet it's a 5-yard face mask. They're looking to see, I think, if it's going to be a first down. Thomas is backing up, so this is going to be – there it is, personal foul face mask. So Cashion gets bailed out there.
That flag was right there where there was a lot of traffic.
Right.
Braxton kind of got in there to try to put his head down and try to get that first down yardage, and somebody must have got a hold of that face mask as he was going through that traffic.
So Cashion in the red zone now. They'll take over 1st and 10 on the 17-yard line of Thomas. Harrell, he'll get his first carry up the middle, and that is stopped quickly. And that's that other linebacker, number 22, Jace Miller. Miller and David Stewart, two middle linebackers there for Thomas, and they've each made one good play here early on as Caden gets one.
Yeah, I mean, right there. I think early on in that first Thomas game, they had some success stopping Caden because, I mean, you have an OSU D1 commit
Division
on your
I,
front
Big
line.
12
If you
football
can't
player.
stop him, something is wrong,
Yep.
and OSU made a bad decision. They did not make a bad decision with that kid, and it's going to be a struggle running up the middle all game.
Up the middle again, and there is that OSU kid, and he will bring down Caden Harrell as Aiden Kelly is there once again as Cashion tries again to hit one right up the middle with really not a lot of luck. As looks like maybe they'll even lose a yard there as we're back to 3rd and 10 here. And Cashion still on that 17-yard line of Thomas, trying to set the tone here and punch one in.
Yeah, and their defense is, they have that three-man front. Aiden Kelly did jump off sides
looks like
there.
he got a little over-anxious
Yep.
there. Ben changed his cadence there a little bit, and that's a big penalty because that goes back to what you said a while ago. Now you're 3rd and 5
Yep.
where you're in 4-down territory. You got 2 plays to get 5 yards. Yeah.
Yep. And they're just kind of running a three-man front there and really not bringing many of the linebackers up or blitzing that I've seen. They're just kind of coming up hard and really staying back and not letting them get anything
They'll
deep.
bubble again. Now Manning's turn. He'll try to make a guy miss as it was one-on-one out there, and there's number 24, Jackson Mannering. He's been involved a lot so far early on those bubbles, which is all those bubbles have been coming towards his Cashion sideline, short side of the field.
Yeah, and they have the team speed where if we don't have somebody out there blocking, they can come up and tackle you for a loss. So as this game goes on, we'll see Coach Shackelford to make some adjustments, see how they're lining up, see how they're reacting, and those will be more effective as the game goes on.
4th down and 4 here. Cashion getting the play from Shackelford. Harmon and Harrell in the backfield. We've got twins to the right of Harmon. Single slot left. Harmon getting pressure from the left side. Evades, steps up, goes to the end zone.
Touchdown.
The ball is caught. I think we're short of the end zone. Who caught that?
Brexton,
That's
I think.
Brexton Green. And look, Brexton was in the end zone, but did a great job, Chris, coming back to the football, and that made the difference there to get that completion.
And right there, I mean, they had a rusher. They blitzed off the edge, number 4, and that ball was caught in the end zone, and he fell forward. But the just looking at the replay, but the official on the field marked him down at the 2-yard line, which was a kind of not a very good spot, but that's fine. They're down there the 2-yard line.
Harmon to Harrell up the middle.
Down.
Looks like he's going to get maybe one, maybe right back to the line of scrimmages. There's Jace Miller again, senior linebacker, making a good play right there at the point of attack.
Yeah, just going back to that 4th down play, Ben Harmon was under pressure, and he stepped up in the pocket and threw a strike. To Brexton Green. And like you said, Brexton did a great job of coming back to the football and making a great catch.
Looks like we're on the 2, maybe 3-yard line, and 2nd down and goal. Cashion trying to punch this in. Harmon will keep it this time, and he's in the end zone. Ben Harmon will go up the middle. Little read there. He keeps it. He gets into the end zone, and Cashion will take over 6-0.
And that right there is Ben's first rushing touchdown of the season.
Wow, amazing. A great drive there from Ben. Great composure. Like you said, Chris, stepping up in the pocket, avoiding Rainwater's blitz. On that big 4th down and 4 was huge. Kind of goes back to what we talked about last week and all that pressure he faced. Maybe, we grew a little bit there. And here in for the extra point, Mr. Lance Christensen, who had the game winner last week to get us through the semifinals. It is wide right, no good. So Cashion will be up 6-0 here after their first drive. And it wasn't easy, Chris.
No.
But we got it in the end zone.
Well, that's the thing. The big return from Brexton bumped us way out there, had a great field position to start, which did not happen last week at all.
Right.
So that helped. The big 4th down play where they had us stuffed, but must have got a hold of Brexton's face mask, and that 15-yard penalty really, just catapulted us into their side of the field. And then, again, on another fourth down play, just a huge play by Ben Harmon to step up into that pocket under pressure and deliver a strike to the 1 yard line to Brexton Green.
Yeah, big-time play there by Ben and Brexton, obviously. Good to kind of get a little offensive mojo before the 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter like it was last week. So
yeah, get on the board early.
Yeah, get on the board early, and then we'll see if the Cashion defense can come out and match that effort that they put out last week at Pawhuska. So Lance Christensen will kick off here. We are way up high, and I apologize, my night vision is not the greatest, but I'm guessing that's number 23, Ethan Hamberlin, back for Thomas to receive this kickoff. And we'll see what Cashion does. Like you said, with Thomas, you never know, and Cashion, same thing. Christensen, he'll go left sideline, and it will be caught, and it looks like he went out of bounds. Big mistake there, and Brexton kind of did the same thing on the Cashion kickoff. He stayed in bounds, and it was kind of one of those 50-50, should you catch it, should you not? Yep. And Rainwater catches it. His momentum takes him out of bounds, and Thomas now in the hole as they'll be starting on their own 15-yard line.
Yeah, and Rainwater, just going back and watching film over the last 2 weeks and 3 weeks of Thomas, he does that every time. And I think Shaq and them probably saw that and said, line drive it at him. He will try to make a play on the ball, and he made some big mistakes in the last 2 games.
Here's Jackson Ward at quarterback with Hamberlin behind him, and he'll go a little bubble left side, and that'll be out to number 2. It looks like Owen Baldwin.
Yep.
And Owen gets some space.
And Owen,
I don't remember calling his name last time we played or seeing much out of him.
Owen Baldwin, in the last couple of games, I saw him. He's a shifty kid that can move and is a quick, just a kind of a smaller version of Brexton Green almost.
Yeah, young sophomore, made a good play, had a lot of space out there, made one miss, got 7 on first down, 2nd down and 3. Ward, shotgun snap, he'll hand to Hamberlin. Hamberlin dances it around, makes a couple miss, but dances a little too much there, and number 61, that's Camden Maroney, kept fighting off blocks, and he got there to make the stop and held Hamberlin short of that first down.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Hamberlin will do right there. He will go up there hard. He's a shifty enough kid and slippery enough kid that if he doesn't get tackled the first time, he can find some room. And right there, if Camden would not have brought him down, he had a little crease on the outside, but luckily Camden brought him down for only a gain of 2.
Looks like unbalanced here, and then we'll have a kind of crazy formation there for Thomas as they were really unbalanced over here to the right, and a flag comes down as I think that was Rainwater that went in motion. So we may have a little procedure or formation issue.
Are they calling it sideline warning? Is that what it is?
Oh, maybe we had a sideline. I don't think the white hat, did he even motion or make a call?
For some reason, I think Gavin Phippen had to come out of the game right there.
Okay.
And so maybe it was maybe
his equipment or something.
Issue.
Yeah. Okay, so 3rd and 1, no flag. Yeah, here comes Rainwater in motion. They'll fake jet, and they'll go right up the middle. Big hole to Hamberlin. He'll make a miss, and there comes Justice Broadbent to make the tackle after a big gain and a big hole right there on the line of scrimmage, Chris. Big hole initially, made a linebacker miss, and luckily Broadbent was able to come over and make the stop. But big first down there for the Terriers.
I mean, 71. Aiden Kelly, that's right where they ran, and he blew a huge hole in that Cashion defense. And Hamberlin is quick enough and slippery enough that he gets a crease like that, he's going to make a play.
Oh, quick out again. That's over to number 2, Owen Baldwin. Broadbent coming quickly on the blitz, almost caught that thing in the air, but he kind of interrupted that. Looked like he maybe got in Baldwin's line of vision there a little bit, but that falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
Tried to do another little bubble screen out there like they did on the early on in the drive, and Justice was on a blitz and got his hands up there and really threw it off.
So Ward, shotgun. He'll take the snap now. He's going to look a little further down the field, about 3 or 4 yards, a little out, a little comeback. And Cashion right on that as it goes out to number 24, Jackson Mannering, and looks like Landon Lagasse was step for step, and Thomas will get 4 on that, but it'll be 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, and Landon has gotten so much better at tackling in space, and right there, I mean, if Mannering gets by him, that's a huge gain, and Landon is a tough physical kid, and as soon as he caught that, Mannering caught that, Landon was in his back pocket and pushed him right out of bounds.
Ward, shotgun, and he will drop back. He's looking down the field. He'll go a little deeper this time. Good coverage. Brexton Green all over that as Ward looked for a little It's probably about a 15, 20-yard little corner route to number 33, Caleb Rainwater, and Brexton Green looked like he was running the route. So Cashion gets a stop, 4th down and 6. Thomas going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, Ward just, dropped back, 3-step drop, and 33, like you said, just came all the way across the field, kind of like a drag, all the way across a deep drag, and just overthrew him, and Brexton was right there in coverage the whole time.
Punt up, and that will hit. Hits about at the 34-yard line, rolls maybe 2 or 3, 4 yards, goes out of bounds. Oh, no, they're going to walk it back up to the 34. So Cashion will take over 1st down and 10 on their own side of the field on their own 34-yard line.
So that was a 6-play, 29 yards. That's what they got on that drive and wound up punting. Great job of the Cashion defense, just like last week. They might have had one big play here or there, but nothing big. Kept them behind the chains. Great job. Kept them on their side of the field. Never got across the 50. And that right there made them have to punt on that 4th down play.
Yeah, and that's important. We get another penalty flag as Cashion is mixing up their cadence, and looks like they got Thomas again. But I don't know. The officials kind of come together and meet. But looked like a dead ball offsides on Thomas, and that will be the call. So Cashion will get a free 5 yards here to start this possession, Chris. And Nima made a good point, too, on that last possession is that's the one adjustment you've kind of seen Thomas so far is they're getting it out of Ward's hands quick to try to nullify the blitz and the pressure Cashion likes to bring from the edge. Now left side bubble over here, and Green trying to find space. Makes a one-man miss, tries to split through another double-team tackle there. He made number 4, Rainwater, miss, and linebackers came over and helped clean it up. But 2-yard gain there, and that was a lot of work for Brexman just to get that 2 yards.
Yeah, and Nima talking about those bubble screens, negating the pressure, getting it out of his hand, getting out of Ward's kid's hands early. Coach Shackelford's doing the same thing for Ben Harmon just to kind of get him in a groove, I think, because in the game early on in the year, where did we have our big plays? Down the field.
Down the field. Yep. Harmon's going to keep it, a little read option, and he fakes the ball to Harrell, keeps it, and another big play by Ben Harmon with his feet. And that's something, Chris, we've not seen much of just because we haven't had to. But Ben Harmon is he's got to be one of the better running quarterbacks in Class A football in Oklahoma. The kid's got wheels, and he's just got a good feel of where to take the ball, and he runs tough.
Yes, and watching going back and looking at some of our film early on, yeah, when he gets in trouble, he is a kid that can really move the ball down the field.
Harmon deep sideline to Lagasse into double coverage. He floated that thing up there. It looked like the play we scored on against Pawhuska last week. But Thomas all over that as they had a safety over the top, as well as Jackson Mannering running step for step with Lagasse. So, but that's the first time we've seen Cashion stretch the field, Chris.
Yeah, that was the first time we'd seen him really go down the field. And like you said, that was a lot like that play that we did score on against Pawhuska. But in that ball game against Pawhuska, we had just ran the ball a few times, I think.
Right.
It really froze that safety. This time we haven't had any chance to really make anything up the middle yet, and that safety was just going over the top.
Yep, now we got a little trip left situation over here. We're going to go bubble again, but Green, he'll try to make one miss and can't get it. As great play there by number 4, Noah Rainwater, as Nick Nabavi was out there doing the best he could to try to set the edge there for Brexton Green.
Yeah, and those guys that are out there on the edge with our receivers, and, all season long, Cashion fans have seen those plays be so successful. When you're playing a team like this that has the speed, that they can get there quickly, and if you don't get somebody on them fast, they're going to be either a play for loss or it's going to be tough to get anything.
Yep, I agree. Harmon, 3rd down and 8. He'll go left side. That ball is picked off. Noah Rainwater uses his length, gets up and snatches that thing out of the air, and Thomas will get a turnover. And Chris, that looked a little reminiscent of the first time we played them 3 months ago, and when they stepped in a couple passing lanes and made a couple big plays. And I don't think Ben saw Rainwater there. He kind of snuck, come from the middle, snuck back out there to the edge, and he just jumped up and made a great play.
Well, kind of what happened there was they were kind of bracketing Brexton there. So Rainwater was kind of just pushing him off the line. They had his safety deep, and all Rainwater did was just kind of fall back into that coverage and fell underneath, and Ben just didn't put enough air on it to get it over him and get it to Brexton.
Hamberlin, he tries to get that edge, and Cashion there, and Chris, got to give some credit to number 34, Jacob Farrell. That kid's got to be hurt. And I was down there on the field right before I came up, and he was not walking around real well. But guess who set the edge on that play?
Yeah.
Jacob Farrell.
That was another one of those Thomas on first down, just trying to get that edge. And, you trying to get the edge on Jacob Farrell, even when he is hurt, is going to be a long day.
Yep. And, give some credit there to 88, Jackson Vandriff, too, because he's occupying those big tackles and giving our backers a chance to get to that edge. And here comes Rainwater in motion. Hamberlin back with Ward. Now they'll go left side. And that is number 2, Owen Baldwin again, as they're using him a lot in space. And he'll be brought down by Broadbent as Ward's pass out to Baldwin, who's been his main target so far.
Well, what they're doing is they're getting the ball to Baldwin, and they're letting Noah Rainwater and Jackson Mannering, those bigger receivers, get out there and block and give Baldwin a chance to make a play.
3rd down and 1. The second, 3rd, and short Thomas's face. They were successful with a big Hamberlin run earlier in the game, and now here's Rainwater in motion. Big blowout. Ball's on the field. Jet sweep. As Ward faked the jet sweep, the ball hit the ground after a massive collision.
That was friendly fire on Thomas.
I think it was Hamberlin and Rainwater who collided. Ball's on the ground. We still don't have – okay, it's going to be 4th down, Thomas's ball as they recover, but that could have been disaster for the Terriers, and it looks like Coach Ward's not going to risk it after that. He's going to punt the ball back down the field and let his defense get back on the field and work.
Yeah, and right there, it's only 4th and 3, so I definitely want, surely Shaq and the special teams are saying, guys, don't let them snap to that short back there and get it, but they're punting it.
Punt is up, and it will go to that left sideline again, and it's going out of bounds on Cashion. Probably going to get this one closer to the 35 as the linesman will walk this up and wait for the lay. No, they're going to mark it at the 28-yard line. And Cashion will take over 1st down and 10. As we are nearing the end of the first quarter of play, 2:29 left here in the first. Cashion ahead 6-0. And Cashion really having a hard time running the football and establishing any kind of consistency, Chris, aside from Mr. Harmon on that little, read option stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is they'll keep hammering. They'll keep hammering Caden Harrell. We've seen teams all year long have a little bit of success against Harrell in the early on, but then later as the game goes on, they tire down.
Right, yeah, and we've seen that a lot over the season with Cashion games. As Harmon keeps it there, and Ben will get about 4 yards as he gets another little glimpse of space.
First down, just another little quarterback keeper right up the middle for about 4 or 5 yards. And what they're doing is they're keying on Harrell.
Yep.
Everybody's going with him, and then he's just pulling it down and getting what they're giving him.
Yeah, I think Shaq just trying to soften him up a little bit. Harrell over here on the sideline walking off maybe a little injury, but he looks okay as he's taking a break. And now Brexton Green will motion to the backfield, and he'll set up aside Ben Harmon. Harmon will take the snap. He'll hand to Green. Green's going to go off tackle. Finds a little space. Great play there, though. Great play as Brexton Green looked like he had some space, but number 55, John Tyler Jones, I think he saved a big one right there.
Yeah, definitely just shoestring tackle, got him down because as Brexton was coming around that edge, there was nobody out here past 55. What was his name?
John Tyler Jones,
John
number
Tyler
55.
Jones.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, just a good job. Good job by Jackson Vandriff to get out there and really spring that edge for the first down.
Yeah, Nick and Jackson out there leading that one. So Brexton stays in, and he'll take it again. He'll try the left side. He'll go wider this time, try to get around the edge, and he'll get a couple, and he makes old Mannering pay on that one. But Mannering does his job and gets Brexton out of bounds for a gain of about 3 yards.
Yeah, Brexton running hard to that edge, and Mannering kind of met him right there at the sideline, and Brexton didn't go out of bounds and put his head down and just punished 24 Mannering, and he is still kind of walking around out there like, what just hit me?
Second down here, and let's call this 7 yards to go. And Harrell back in as Brexton gets a break. Shaq throwing a few different things here at Thomas, and Harrell will get his chance up the middle, and just nothing there. They're all over Caden Harrell as number 22 shows the guns. Jace Miller, after he meets Caden Harrell in the hole one-on-one, brings him down for no gain.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough sledding right up the middle of that Terrier defense. I mean, we talked about it. Those were the two guys that I talked about for the Terrier defense, 71 and 53. Those two guys right there are going to open up plays for those linebackers and those other kids up front.
Cashion will stay in double tight. Shackelford stays with it, and he makes his point as Caden Harrell goes off tackle. And number 22, Jace Miller gets him, but this time it's once Cashion's past the first down line to gain.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Shaq's not going to go away from it. He sees something there, and he saw something in that first game, because in that fourth quarter, how did we drive down in that late in that third quarter and early in the fourth? That's how he kind of milked that clock and just let Caden Harrell punish him right up the middle. And that time 22 didn't get up flexing like he did after he ran that Harrell ran for that first down.
Oh, Harmon loses a snap. He'll roll left. We got a broken play here. He'll try to make something out of this. Spin. Makes one miss, but he pays the price as, who was that? Kelly and number 55, John Tyler Jones again, is there. But good job by Ben at least getting that thing back to the line of scrimmage after the fumbled snap. And that will bring us, Chris, to the end of the first quarter of play. Good one so far, 6-0 Cashion. And we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back with the second quarter and Cashion continuing this drive.
At Water Heater Man, we specialize in repairing and replacing all water heaters. We service the OKC Metro and surrounding towns with fast, reliable service. We keep our vans fully stocked with essential parts needed for basic repairs, and new tanks are always on the vans ready to go. We offer free estimates on all jobs with financing options available. We match manufacturer's warranty for all newly replaced water heaters. We'll get your water heater back up and running as fast as possible so you don't have to put your life on hold waiting for service. Give us a call today. 405-844-TANK. That's 405-844-8265. Go Wildcats!
All right, we're back as Cashion's about to face second down and 9 right at midfield. Start the second quarter. Harmon and Harrell in the backfield. Ben will walk towards Coach Shackelford and get the call here. Cashion, good field position as they're trying to go down and tack on another score, make this a 2-score game. And we'll go right side. Manning makes number 2 miss. Still fighting through traffic, but Thomas doing a good job swarming to the ball there as Cashion still trying to get to that bubble game. And it seems like everything has been to this near sideline on all our bubble work.
Here's what Shaq's doing. He's going to keep that up, and then what's going to happen is they're going to fake that. You're going to see Landon or Mason, one of those guys that have been blocking the whole time, they're going to slip through, and they're going to score a long touchdown. He's setting that up, and he does that so well, and he keeps going to it and going to it. And the thing is, he can do it, and they could break one.
Right. Yeah.
They could break one, but that's kind of what he's doing. He's setting things up for later in the game.
3rd and 7. Harmon looking down the field. He'll try to stretch it out to Green. He's covered, but Grayson Green goes up, makes a wonderful catch into the end zone. Touchdown, Cashion. As there it is, Chris. They went bubble, 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 and there it is. Braxton Green breaks it. Hey, he was well covered.
Yes.
I mean, the kid has done it all year long. He goes up in traffic, snags that thing out of the air. Great job by Harmon by putting it in a position for Braxton to go up and make that catch.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He slipped right by the guy. The guy, had the speed to catch back up and was there. Ben put it out there where Braxton had to put his hands as far out as he could, catch it with his fingertips, and just flew into the end zone.
Big time play there. Big time plays. Cashion's up 12-0. They're going to try to chase that missed extra point from our first drive, so they'll go for 2 here. And it looks like we got Green and Harrell in the backfield. Trips to the right. Now Green in motion. They'll throw a lateral to Green. A lot of traffic. He tries to make one miss. Does, and he's in. Braxton Green is manning up, Chris, right now, and he's making big-time plays in a big-time game.
Man, and Braxton, he's kind of been bottled up the last, 3 or 4 weeks because people scheme for him. They do not want Braxton Green to beat them, and they've done a good job. But, other teammates of Braxton have been having huge games the last 3 or 4 weeks. And tonight, Braxton is saying, this is the championship game. I'm about to go off, and he is doing just that. Yeah, so proud of that kid.
Doesn't it look like to you? I mean, we talked about before the game that we would see how these teams would approach this second matchup. Not very often do you play somebody in the state finals in football that you played in the regular season. And that's – so it looks like, and it's my opinion, you tell me yours, it looks like Thomas, they're trying to take away the run, and they've done a good job of taking away the run game, especially from Caden Harrell. But that's causing Braxton Green to have the opportunity to not have a safety over the top down the field.
Yeah, when they're stacking the box, trying to really keep Caden from beating them, well then Braxton Green is going to have a chance to get deep in the back or the secondary without help over the top, and that's exactly what happened. And because if they had a safety over the top, he'd have came over, knocked it down,
probably
or intercepted it.
Yeah.
And without that help over the top, because they're up trying to stop Caden Harrell, gave him a perfect opportunity to score a big touchdown right there to put them up 14-0.
Hey, great to be up 14-0, but Cashion fans, don't get too excited.
No.
Thomas has been here before time after time, and they're used to this situation. So Cashion up 14-0. Lance Christian going to kick this off, and this will be a short little kick to Rainwater. He'll take a knee. That's Mannering. He'll take a knee right at about the the Thomas 28-yard line. Thomas will take over first down and 10. And, Chris, they've been down 2 scores, right, the last 2 weeks in the playoffs, in the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and climbed back and won the game.
Yeah, that's one thing I talked with Nima about in the pregame was both semifinals, quarterfinals, it was 20-7 before Thomas even got a heartbeat, And when they did, and I watched, I think it was that Coach's Corner that Squirtle did with Coach Ward, and he said, put 20-7 on the scoreboard to start this game because that's when we start playing.
There's Cashion on the edge, and Thomas does a good job trying to get it out again to number 2, Owen Baldwin. Cashion was all over that, but Baldwin did a good job making the first one miss. Cashion does swarm after that, though, and hold him to a gain of 1. It looks like Cashion Chris has done a good job of sniffing out number 2, Owen Baldwin.
Well, that's the thing is, I kind of compared him to Braxton, just a smaller version, and he is a smaller version. And that time, Braxton came flying downhill, really just got him and controlled him right out of bounds. Didn't even get I think maybe a 1-yard play there.
A handoff to Hamlin going right, and there is nothing there. Cashion all over that, and that looks like Mr. Maroney, Camden Maroney again in there blowing that up at the point of attack, and that will be no gain, 3rd down and 9. So Thomas down 2 scores early in this second quarter. Your Class A state finals here on the campus of UCO. And 3rd down and 9. Thomas really needing to make something happen, Chris, here as momentum is getting away from him.
Yeah, and the thing is the Cashion Wildcats are just feeding off of this. They're feeding off that touchdown because, man, you see them just flying around the ball on defense now, even more than they were before. And on that 3rd down play, 3rd and long, sorry, I kind of talked through the play there, but they just dropped back and threw the ball, and that Ward is kind of feeling that pressure too and made it kind of a low throw, and it was a incomplete pass that brought up a 4th and long here, and Thomas is lining up the punt again.
Yeah, I mean, little Aaron, the ball probably should have been caught. And Baldwin was in. He'd settled down. It looked like we were in a little zone. He'd settled into some pretty good space. Would have been enough for a first down probably, but just couldn't connect. And here Thomas will have to punt again. And looks like this one is going to bounce around the 48-yard line. It'll bounce maybe 3 more yards. Brexton will stay away, and Thomas will down it right at the Cashion 46-yard line. Wildcats will take over first down and 10. And now, Chris, I know we've talked about Thomas being behind the last couple of weeks, but this one feels like right now, man, they let Cashion go down and score again. We're getting in a danger zone.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, Cashion, they feed off of this energy. They get going. They get comfortable. and we've seen it all year long. You know, a lot of times in games where when Cashion scores a touchdown or two, they kind of get comfortable, and then it just snowballs. And then they've scored 4 touchdowns in 3 minutes. And and if Thomas does not get a stop here or show a little bit of life, that could happen tonight.
And we'll go bubble again out to, that is Mason Manning. He'll catch it, gets a good block, has a little hole, carries one with him, and that's the first pretty good gain there for Mason Manning as he gets some good blocks on the edge by Green and Nabavi, and then he carries number 23, Ethan Mannering for a first down.
Yeah, that right there, that little bubble screen, you know, they didn't have that guy flying in, and so Manning really got a chance to get ahead of steam going, and then Nick and Brexton, those two guys out there blocking. I mean, Nick was driving his guy 10 yards down the field, and that really gave him a chance to get down the field.
Empty backfield. Harmon takes a snap. He'll fake a little pass out to the left to Green, and then he'll run up the middle, but Thomas all over that, and that's really the first time that Ben has been stifled trying to hit that delay up the middle. It looks like that was number 57, Dason Drennan there on the play. No gain.
Yeah, and they did a good job that time. Like you said, they've seen it now 3 or 4 times, and so they were kind of expecting, you know, in the past they might have been starting to kind of funnel out to see where that pass is going. They knew that time stay home. They did, and they got him down.
2nd down and 10. Trips to the right. Harrell in there with Harmon. Ball on the ground again. Harmon will pick it up, try to break this one, and he'll get a couple out of it. But another one there, Chris, where couldn't tell if it was really a bad snap or maybe that, you know, Ben
I think that one right there was on the between the exchange between Harrell and Ben. And Cashion's been fortunate twice now where early on it was on a snap. That time it was on I don't know if he was faking the handoff, but the ball hit the ground twice, and Cashion's been fortunate not to lose any yards both times.
Yep, and then Cashion acts like they're going to play quick there. Jackson Vandriff in, and Cashion will go heavy to the left there with Nabavi, it looks like, and Vandriff. And Harrell will be to the left of Harmon. 3rd down and 8. Shotgun snap, and he'll go deep again. Got a step, and it looks like he turned Lagasse around. Lagasse looked like he was expecting the ball to the middle of the field, Chris, and it looks like, maybe Harmon was throwing that flag route.
Yeah, they had good coverage there again. I mean, Lagasse might have had one step. If it would have been a perfect throw, he might have caught it and had a chance to really get in the end zone there. But, Ben just kind of had a little bit on the outside shoulder where Landon thought it was going to go to the inside and just didn't meet up there. So now Cashion is lining up to punt.
And Lagasse had a step there. He definitely had a step on the defender. But, okay, Brexton Green, he's going to pooch it down there and try to get a roll. Pretty good roll. Cashion will let this thing go, and this is going to end up being a good one, Chris, as we're trying to get that thing down to the 3. But it looks like around the 4-yard line. Great punt by Brexton Green. And, Chris, how about that? When's the last time you've seen Lynn Shackelford punt on 4th and 7 on
their side
of the field? I mean, I don't know that I've seen it in a few years, but I think that's a testament to Tony Wood's defense, and they're just playing so well, and you can hang your hat on those guys.
Well, and Shaq's probably thinking, we've had teams backed up here. I think it was Hooker. We had them backed up. The quarterback got rushed, got out to the edge, threw it, interception. I think Jackson Vandriff intercepted, ran into the end zone, and maybe Shaq's thinking, let's pin them deep here and really put some pressure on them and see what they can do.
Farrow's showing blitz. He will go. They'll hand off to Hamberlin, and they run right where that blitz came. Farrow got caught up in the wash as he blitzed right on that tackle on the left side of the Thomas line of scrimmage. And once he got past that, there was a lot of yardage ahead of him. Big gain there for Hamberlin.
Yeah, and we just talked about it. With the beginning of that Cashion drive that they had to punt, we said Thomas has to show a heartbeat here. They did. They got the stop. They got way backed up, and then they get out of the shadow of their end zone. They are showing some heart. This team is well coached. Yep. They have heart. They are not going to give up.
Yep. And Hamberlin there, it looks like the same exact play, really, Chris. Yep. And Farrow did not blitz that time, and he stayed home.
And he was there.
He was right there to meet Mr. Hamberlin right in the hole. Maybe a gain of 1 there, 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, and that play that they busted, that was just the perfect call. Yep. And Coach Wood was bringing the heat, bringing the pressure, and they slipped it right by him, which is going to happen when you're bringing pressure like that. And Coach Ward is a good coach, and he knows that's going to happen.
Jet sweep, Baldwin, and we've seen that. That's the first true jet sweep, Chris, we've seen tonight in this game, but we seen that fail time after time in Cashion 3 months ago, and loss of 3 yards there on the jet.
Yeah, Nick Nabavi, man, he just saw it coming, and he knew what was coming. I mean, these kids are so well coached. They've seen so much film. They've learned. This week they haven't really done any hitting. They've just been prepping and game planning. And Nick saw that, and he is such a smart football kid. He knew what was coming. He flew through there, got in the legs of Noah Rainwater, and got him down for a loss.
3rd down and 11 here as Baldwin's in motion. They'll fake it to him. Ward back to pass. Cashion just kind of staying back, and now a little step down the sideline, and it's complete. And number 24, Jackson Mannering, breaks away from Lagasse. Brown trying to catch him, and he will not. He's in the end zone, but we have a flag down.
So what that play was right there was a screen play.
Yeah.
They were trying to set up a screen. Yeah. Our kids saw it coming.
Yeah, it's
they
coming
were
back.
there to cover that.
Yeah.
And what happened was the Ward kid just got out, threw it deep.
Yeah,
because
the
Mannering
you're
kid
right.
got open.
It's a broken play.
Yeah, it's
broken play. And give Cashion all the credit in the world. So I was trying to explain it, and I kind of got caught up there. But Cashion, they read the screen, and they did not rush Ward at all. They just stayed back, played the screen, and that's all Ward could do at that point was throw it in the ground or throw it up deep. But we're going to have multiple guys down the field.
Yeah, and that's the thing when you're setting up a screen, and then you get outside the pocket and throw it deep. You're going to have illegal man downfield because that's the whole point of that screen is to get a running back or a receiver behind those linemen.
Right.
And that's what happened. Those linemen were working down the field. As Ward got to the outside and threw it down the field, there was 4 or 5 of them past the 3 or 4 yards that they are allowed.
And give Ward credit. I mean, you'll see a lot of quarterbacks there in that situation. What they'll do, they'll just throw the ball down on the ground because they know, hey, that screen's not going to happen. This play's done. It's 3rd and 11, but what Ward do? I thought it's pretty smart of him.
Yeah.
Hey, let's see if the refs miss it. I'm going to throw it up to my man, see if we can get a play
The only other thing
out.
he could have really done because he had some room out there was
try
maybe
to run
tuck
for
it and run.
Yeah. So 3rd and 16 here, and now Ward's sitting in the pocket. He'll go right side, and I was afraid of that. Gavin Phippen out there. There was a little contact as the ball was in the air, and I think Thomas is going to get bailed out here as we're going to have a pass interference call on Gavin Phippen.
Yeah, I mean, on that far sideline over there, it's hard for me to see.
Yeah,
but,
hard to see. Just saw bodies go down.
Yeah, Gavin was in good coverage, it looked like, and it was just pretty much just an out, and it was short of the line to gain. Right. And as Gavin broke on the ball, he kind of went through the receiver, and as he did, that's when the receiver fell down and the flag came out.
Yeah, and I believe, in high school football, pass interference is not an automatic first down.
No.
So we should have a 4th down and around 1 yard or maybe less than a yard. Maybe not. Maybe they're going to wave this off. Officials are talking. We'll see what we're going to do. Nope, they're marking it off. And it is pass interference on Cashion. And right there it is. We're going to have 4th down and 1, or 3rd down. We'll replay 3rd down. 3rd down and 1, Chris, for Thomas. What's this, their third down, right? On this set of downs.
And they haven't even got to the 35-yard line yet.
Yep. So we're about halfway through this second quarter. Cashion up 14-0. Thomas needs to answer here as they try to get this long drive to score. Ward back in shotgun. He'll hand it to Hamberlin. He'll go right side, make a move. It looks like he got it. He did get it. Cashion was right there. A good run there by number 23, Ethan Hamberlin, because he had to make a move, Chris, right there at the last second to squeeze past the yard to gain.
He only needed less than half a yard, and he made that play. But, man, he was met as soon as he crossed that line, was met and drove back, and that's why a lot of the Cashion fans were yelling. They thought maybe we had him stuffed, but I'm sitting right on that line to gain, and you could see him get across and then just get hammered.
So 1st and 10, a drive extended here for Thomas. Ward with Hamberlin. He'll fake it. Now he'll go quickly to Baldwin to the left, and he's got space this time. Gavin Phippen gets off of a block, and he'll make the tackle. But after a gain of 8, as there is Baldwin, who's Chris done a majority of the work on offense. It's been Baldwin and Hamberlin.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Cashion's giving them, though.
Yep.
They're kind of giving them that little bubble screen and saying, hey, let Baldwin try to beat us. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Keep the big threats of Rainwater, the over top threats of Rainwater and Mannering. Keep them in check. So they'll go 2nd down and 2. Hamberlin up the middle. Jackson Vanderwerf right there, and that's going to be right at the line to gain. as Vandruff and it looks like that Kyler George were there to meet number 23. I believe it's a first down,
Yeah.
Chris. And
Yeah, they met right
will
at
be
the-
a first down for Thomas.
They met right at the first down line, and then you have, Big 71. He pushed a little bit harder, and they fell over in Thomas's favor and got that first down.
And will be impressive the way Thomas is, in the manner they're moving the ball here. They're going to have to play really clean to get this thing all the way down the field and score because Cashion's bend, not break right now. As Baldwin in motion, fake the jet. Ward will keep it. He'll go left, and he's tripped up. Now it looks like Kyler George there tripped him up. And that's a good gain, though, for Ward, Chris, as he fakes the jet, which Cashion has been all over, and Ward will get about 6 yards.
Yeah, and that's Coach Ward. He's seeing that, and he's saying, all right, how are we going to counter that? And that's one way they're going to counter it. But the way that Cashion counters that is number 9 in the middle, and he'll spot that.
Rainwater trying to get right. He'll get around Farrell on the right side. Lagasse up to make a hit, and Farrell keeps playing after Farrell kind of missed him on the edge there. Lagasse did a good job kind of chipping Rainwater, and here come Farrell cleaning it up.
Yeah, I mean, the speed of Cashion on that edge. I mean, I watched play after play after play against Ringling and Pawnee that the Terriers would get around that edge and go for 30 yards, 20 yards. And we talked about it earlier in the week where, Ringley would almost let the Terriers have more men and be out of position.
Out of balance.
Cashion, man, is on it, and those linebackers are so fast to get to that.
3rd and 4, Ward down the middle. Got a man with the step, but he overthrows his intended receiver. That looks like number 33, Caleb Rainwater, that's who he tried to go deep earlier in the first quarter too, which was also unsuccessful and overthrown. But this time, Rainwater had a step.
Yeah, he had a step, and Brexton was a little late getting over there. And if the ball would have been on the money, I think Rainwater probably would have caught it, but Brexton might have been there to make the tackle, but definitely wasn't there in time to break up the pass if it would have been on the money.
So here's the punt for Thomas, and let's see if Green can get his hands on one. It looks like Thomas been kind of purposely kicking it out of bounds. Brexton will call for a fair catch on this one, and he'll take it right about at the Cashion 21-yard line, and then there's a flag on the play. Not sure what that is, Chris, on a fair catch with no contact. So we'll see.
A fair catch.
Got to be something unsportsmanlike, I would guess. That's just a complete guess on. But like I said, there's no contact.
Yeah, Brexton, I mean, there wasn't anybody within – I mean, maybe that kid was 5 yards away and had turned around and started walking away when the flag came out. So it has to be something that maybe Brexton said is the only thing I can think of.
Only thing I could some sort of mannerism or something they said, but it's going to back up. It's going to be against Cashion. It's a 5-yarder, though, so interesting. Illegal fair catch call, I believe. So I guess Brexton may have ran a little bit afterwards.
Like he caught the ball and then threw it to the official. I don't have any idea
Not
what.
sure on that one, so a little confusion.
About.
Maybe Nima has a little information he can share with us down there on the sidelines, but that was a little perplexing to us. Nonetheless, Cashion will take over 1st and 10. They're on their own 17-yard line. They got 4 minutes and 2 seconds to try to move this down the field. Harmon will go back to Manning. Manning will have some space. He'll make a move. He's caught from behind, and there's Aiden Kelly. Who
that just shows you.
That is amazing, Chris. A kid that size who's out. When Manning makes his initial move, he's out of the play.
Yes, I mean, Kelly is chasing him down from behind, and he is that big and that agile to turn around and make a play down the field. Because if he would not have made that play, Manning's a good enough kid that he could have made somebody miss and go for a big play.
So first down, though, after that reception, and now Harrell trying to get going, but still nothing. He'll maybe get one out of that, but Thomas bottles it up again as Caden Harrell, Chris, still having a hard time getting going here on the ground.
Yeah, well, you look at those linebackers. They are keying off of Harrell, and whatever he's doing, they are flying to the ball and going to wherever he's at, which that's the thing. And Caden Harrell is a kid that will take that all day long and say, bring it, because you coming to me is going to open up one of my teammates. And Caden Harrell doesn't care if he has 1,000 yards or 10 if they win this ball game.
And they'll go back to Manning, and he kind of has a hard time corralling that one as throw that lateral back to Manning, and catch just wasn't real clean, and it kind of threw off the timing there. It looked like, Chris, a little bit.
Yeah, and being on that short side of the field, it just really was too much traffic over there for him to really make one of those moves we're used to seeing him make.
Yep. And there'll be a timeout on the field. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back. 2:50 left in the second quarter. Cashion up 14-0.
Gateway Realty is a mother-daughter team that has a heart for small-town life. Both Anita and Kelly were born and raised in Cashion and are still raising their families here. Their family homesteaded in Cashion in 1908, and it's been home ever since. Anita and Kelly know this town, love this town, and would love to help make this your home too. For a friendly face and trustworthy knowledge, call these hometown girls at 405-641-7388. Go Wildcats!
All right, we're back. 2:50 left in the second quarter of this Class A state championship game. Cashion leading 14-0. Chris, you want to talk about some stats here? You got those up?
Yeah, just looking at first down attempts, first downs. Cashion has 8 first downs. Thomas has 4. Rushing attempts, 17-13. Thomas has 13. Cashion has 17. Both teams are really kind of trying to establish the run game this first half, and Cashion really, with those bubble screens, that's almost kind of a run game for them too.
Yep, 3rd down and 8. Harmon back to pass, time in the pocket. Now he'll escape left. Got one man to beat out there. He'll cut back up in the middle, and he'll be just short, about a yard short, it looks like, Chris. He had to make a decision there. He had one man. It looked like number 24, Mannering, was coming up to try to meet him. And he made a move, and he'll come up 1 yard short. Thomas will call timeout. Be interesting to see what Coach Schackfer does here on 4th and 1.
Yeah, right here, calling timeout. By Thomas, they're thinking, oh, Shaq's going to punt. We're going to get the ball back. But with Coach Shackelford, and as kind of the riverboat gambler that he is, he might say, hey, call a timeout. Thank you. We'll go ahead and try to get a first down here. And if we do, we'll keep the ball the rest of this half and maybe get in the end zone.
I mean, really interesting situation here. 4th down and 1. There's 2:40 left. I think Thomas has burned 2 timeouts, so they'll have 1 timeout left.
It's kind of crazy right now. Coach Ward is out about the hashes. Shaq's out about the hashes. They're trying to figure out what
they might be measuring this. As the official came over to talk to Coach Schackford, that down marker now has been moved way closer to the line of gain, and they're really looking at this to see.
Well, it looks like the first down marker
they will.
is at,
they're going to call timeout for measurement here.
The first down marker is at the 37-yard line as far as I can see.
Yeah, my angle is I would say it's a smidgen past that 37-yard line.
And the ball is spotted right before the 37. So around the 36 3/4, and so if they bring it out to measure, it's going to be close.
So, yeah, that interesting because I thought Ben was going to end up about a yard short, about a full yard short. Now you're talking, a matter of inches.
They're not going to measure.
Maybe so they called off the measurement.
But they are going to Cashion does look like they're going to go for it.
Yeah. Our man Nima down there, he's on the spot, and he did give us the clarification on that fair catch. I guess they said Brexton used 2 hands to make the fair catch, which is illegal.
Okay.
So I'm not seeing that
their
one.
fair catch signal. You can only
signal.
Use one hand.
One-handed.
What's
I guess
funny
he used
is
2.
in the game prior to this. Oh, look, they're going to.
Here we go, Wildcat, Brexton Green, and he's trying to break a tackle. He does. He beats Mannering. Still going up the sideline. We got a flag.
But it's a horse collar.
It might be a horse collar, but have you ever seen a horse collar where the guy didn't make the tackle? So that's interesting as well to me. So we're going to have to put Nima back to work down there, but we'll see what the call is.
If that's the case, they will tack that on the end of the run.
Correct.
What that is. And the reason that they called it is because
he did impede his progress.
He had him by the horse collar for about 2 yards, and
Brexton's pointing that
broke
way.
Loose.
Yeah. So we'll see if they might. Doesn't look. Oh, no flag. So,
okay.
I don't think you can call it if
unless
you don't
they bring them down.
Yeah, if you don't tackle them. I've never seen that, so that was interesting. And sure enough, it gets waved off. But big gain there as Cashion goes to that Wildcat, which, hey, Brexton came up big last week running the ball from a direct snap as well. So now Thomas, Chris, do they dig themselves a hole calling those 2 timeouts, stopping the clock, and giving Cashion more time to deal with this drive?
And they gave Cashion 3 timeouts left to get in the end zone.
And now Harrell trying to, and he'll get a little bit of room. That's probably his best run of the night so far as he gets a little bit space up the middle. Shaq still trying to soften up that middle of that, which is the strength of that Thomas defense, even here with 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, and they just keep hammering those guys, those big boys. And the thing is, those big boys play on both sides of the football.
Right.
And so Shaq's thinking, we will keep hammering away, and they are going to tire out for both sides. Looked like Gaden Kelly was offsides right there.
Harmon to Harrell again, and he's trying to drag tacklers forward. He'll be hauled down after about a gain of 3 on that one. It looked like number 50, Parker Payne, is those Thomas defensive linemen. Man, they got some big fellas, and those dudes can move, and they can make some plays.
Now it looks like Shaq's going to go ahead and take his time out.
That's our first time out, so that'll leave them with 2.
Yep, and our scoreboard is not working like we wanted to. We're going to get that fixed at halftime. But it is 14-0 with 1 minute, 59 seconds left in this first half. And Cashion is driving, and they are at their own – or at Thomas's 40-yard line. So with a minute 59 left and third down and, 3?
Yep.
The playbook is completely wide open for Shaq right here.
Yeah, 3rd and 3. Maybe 2 even. I would not be shocked to see him go for something here down the field.
Just take a shot.
Run here the last few plays. I wouldn't be shocked here. At least if you don't get anything out of it, at least you 4th and 2. So we'll see, though.
Or he could just hammer Caden Harrell and see if he can get those 3 yards, and then on 4th down, come up with something else. But
it looks like we're going to do a little Braxton Green Wildcat again.
I love it. I love this Wildcat offense.
Yep, heavy left, and he'll follow those boys here. Well, we got a flag down. Got a pre-snap penalty, and that's going to be huge if it's on Cashion.
How does that even happen? They didn't even get up there in time to do their look over at Coach Shackelford before they threw a flag.
Had to be an illegal formation there, unless somebody moved, which I didn't see. But Harmon will come back in the game now because no, he won't. He'll come back off the field. Him and Manning were going in, but they're going to stick with Brexton here in this Wildcat setup. 3rd down, and they got a 3rd and 7 here. 1:59 left, second quarter. He'll take it left side, not a lot of space, but Brexton's very patient there on that run, Chris, and he will get the first down as it looked like he was bottled up, did a good job hesitating, waiting for space.
Yeah, what happened there, Aiden Kelly, big boy up front, he took on all those lead blockers and kind of went to that edge, and Brexton just broke right behind him and went right up the middle for the first down.
First down stops the clock till the chains move. Brexton gets the snap again. He's waiting for that space. He'll bounce off, and now this time they get him bottled up, but he'll squirt forward. He'll at least get 4 out of it, but there Cashion now is battling the clock, Chris, so 4 yards at a whack's probably not going to work much longer, so we'll see if he's going to stick with it. Is Brexton Green remains.
Brexton Green can throw the ball.
Yeah, he can throw it. And he'll go left side this time, and he'll fight, and he will get a first down. That'll stop the clock. But we have a flag down.
I think what I saw from up here is as Brexton was going through that traffic, his face mask got grabbed, and then as he jumped, as he got loose, he got another 5 yards, and he threw it exactly where he got hit in the face mask.
Yeah, and it was definitely in the area of a tackle being attempted, not a block. Yes. So there wasn't a lot of blocking going on there. So, I would expect some sort of face mask call here. Is Cashion walking forward, and it will be a personal foul face mask, so that'll be half the distance. That should bring it down right inside the 10-yard line, and Cashion, right outside the 10-yard line. And Cashion will have first down and 10, and they will be able to theoretically get a first down here, but
nope, they can't.
Yeah,
they were right at the 10.
Yeah, it looked like it was right outside. Brexton staying with it, bounces off a tackle, squeezes right back into the line of scrimmage, but looks like Thomas has kind of figured it out now as they hold Brexton to the line of scrimmage, and Shackelford will take Cashion's second timeout with 1 minute, 9 seconds remaining.
And I know it's hard to, as we're saying this Wildcat offense, we're talking about Ben Harmon is not in the game. It's Brexton Green back there taking the snap, and they have Caden Harrell and Nick Nabavi. I think they're kind of right behind the line of scrimmage on that left side, and they're just playing power defense. I think they have Landon Lagasse is
Yeah.
split out
Yeah,
to the
split.
far side on the left side of the formation. And Brexton is just getting the ball, being patient, finding a hole, and just taking advantage of whatever opens up.
Right.
He hits it as hard as he can, and he's just been getting 4 or 5 yards every single time until that last one where he still got to the line of scrimmage. Now let's see what Coach Shackelford tries to do to kind of off balance that and catch Thomas off guard.
Could we see a Tebow bubble jump pass here right down the middle?
I
Little
would
pop
not- I
pass
would
right
not-
down the middle.
To
you
Nick
know-
Nabavi.
You Harold, Nabavi,
Yeah.
they can do it for
Yep.
sure. Vandriff, they can all catch the ball. But
Looks like Ben is back in,
it looks
though.
like Ben's back in the game, and Cashion will go trips right and twins left here to start. We'll see if anybody motions back, but Ben's empty now. Here comes Nabavi in motion across the line. He'll settle in. And now here comes Green the other way. He'll fake that little jet toss. Ben makes a move, but the turf monster gets Ben as he had some space going right. But he'll come down after a gain of about 2 yards. And now it's third down. And they do have the down markers back. So it's third down about 9 yards here. Clock running.
They did have the defense leaning, and Ben had a little bit of a gap, a crease. But, man, just turf monster got him and only got about a yard out of it.
Harrell settles to Harmon's right. Harmon in the shotgun, trips right. And now he'll go bubble left. That ball is almost taken to the house, Chris. And if that wasn't a linebacker, if that may have been a defensive back, that may have went the distance. But David Stewart was there to knock that down. That could have been ugly.
Yeah, David Stewart, I mean, he jumped that perfectly. He saw it coming, and it hit right off of his hands. And if he would have caught it, I mean, I don't know if he had the speed to get all the way to the end zone or not, but he would have had a full head of steam head start to get there.
So here we go. 4th down and 9. Chris, 53 weeks ago, we were right here in the same position on the opposite end of the field trying to score at the end of the second. Ben down the middle, goes up high, and it's overthrown. Tried to hit Manning on that little skinny post into the end zone, but a lot of traffic there, well covered. Give Thomas credit. Ben tried to get one in there on 4th down, but incomplete, and Thomas gets the stop.
Yeah, I mean, Shaq, as Ben's coming off the field, Shaq's talking to Ben, and he's probably telling him, nothing you could really do there. There might have been – I saw Brexton kind of break free on this corner, but there was people in Ben's face, or I think he would have pulled the trigger, and so he kind of waited until he thought he had his shot, threw the ball in there, and just missed him by just overthrew him just a little bit. But the thing is, right there, you got to take a shot.
Yeah, 4th down.
Up 14-0. Other than that, maybe kick a field goal?
Yeah, we'll see. As pretty conservative here by Thomas, backed up in their own territory, and Ward will hand off to Hamberlin, and he'll go forward for about 5 yards. Tackled there, looks like by Kyler George and Caden Harrell, so I'm sure Thomas will probably just let this thing bleed out this deep. No, maybe one. They got one timeout left, but it looks like Ward's going to run one more play here. May just give it to Hamberlin and see what he can do. And he will. He'll hand off to 23, Hamberlin, and he'll be brought down quickly by Kyler George, and that should do it, Chris. As we get to halftime here in the 2020 Class A state final, Cashion up 14-0, feeling good. But like I said, we're not going to get too overconfident because we know how Thomas has fought to put themselves here.
Yeah, I mean, you feel good going. I mean, anybody's going to feel good being up 14-0 going into halftime. But, man, 21-0 would have been even better
that
because
nice.
Coming out of the halftime locker room, it will be Thomas's ball. They will have a chance to go down and get it, within another one-score game. And Thomas, all year long, they played behind. The last two playoff, their whole playoff life have been playing from behind, and they've got it done.
They've got the fight.
So they're
in
that locker room going, this isn't anything, guys. We're only down 14-0. We can do this. And the thing is, Cashion Wildcats cannot sleep on them. They better go into this locker room, make their adjustments, which Shaq and Tony Wood are some of the best at, and really keep shutting this offense down from the Thomas Terriers and bring this championship home.
And not a lot different than the last time. I think we were 14-7 at halftime.
Yep.
Nobody really moving up and down the field. Kind of very similar, really.
Yes.
So pretty interesting. We'll see how it unveils in the second half. Look forward to it. We're going to take a break, and then Mr. Nabavi, I think, is going to jump on the elevator and get back up here and join us, and we'll talk. Oh, he's quick. He's already here. So let's take a break. We'll get settled in, and we'll break this thing down a little bit here on Cashion Wildcat TV.
Cashion Shape Up Fitness is locally owned and operated with no contracts or sign-up fees. Our rates start at only $30 per month, and we have tanning available. Everything you need to work on your health and fitness. So contact Amber Lee to sign up today. 405-538-8248. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Cashion Shape Up Fitness.
I'm Todd Miller, and this is Grain and Grange, the coolest furniture store you've never heard of. Come see us.
Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
At Maples Nixon Dieselhorst, we've helped a lot of people, and our goal was to treat each and every person like a friend. And as a friend, we've got your back always. We understand what you're going through. Being lawyers is what we do, but it's not all that we are. We care. We'll stand beside you throughout the entire legal process, not just as lawyers, but as your friends. We are Maples Nixon Dieselhorst, and we are here to help.
Have a pest problem? Call Rural Pest Solutions today. We offer as-needed services as well as a variety of treatment schedules. We're family-owned and operated, and we specialize in treating life's smallest problems: spiders, ants, roaches, termites, mice, and more. For both residential and commercial, we're ready to solve your pest problems today. So call Rural Pest Solutions in Cashion, 405-238-6565. Proud supporter of Wildcat athletes.
Stream like the pros with Squirtle Live. Find out more at squirtle.com/stream.
Wiggins, Sewell, and Ogletree is dedicated to championing our clients through complicated and challenging litigations. We pride ourselves on a proven track record of success brought forth by fierce litigation skills. The lawyers and staff of our firm are dedicated to effective and personalized representation for every client who entrusts our service. Uncompromising integrity, unparalleled results. Call Wiggins, Sewell, and Ogletree, 405-232-1211.
All right, we're back here as the Cashion High School cheerleaders just finished performing on the field here at UCO and giving the crowd a little entertainment. Nema is back with us, and I'm here, Chad Tishman with Chris Gibson. Nema, thanks for coming back up. We got the stats in front of us, guys. Chris, Nema, tell me what you think looking at those numbers.
Well, I'm looking at total yards is 82 to 189. Cashion is winning that battle, and, man, the defense of Cashion has just been shutting down anything that Thomas really has tried. You know, they've busted a few right up the middle, but, man, anything that they've tried to go on the edge is just the team speed of Cashion has just shut it down and really not giving them any kind of a shot to make a big play around the edge.
Yeah, on top of that, I mean, the first thing that stood out to me, and I told you guys this when we got the stats, was double the plays for Cashion, 41-23. You better be up 14-0 if you've run twice as many plays as your opponent. And Cashion's done that. They've done a good job. That first drive was fantastic. It was textbook Lynn Shackelford all the way down. I love seeing Ben punch it in. And, right now, as I take a look at just individual rushing and passing and receiving, the person that stands out to me is Brexton Green at quarterback and the Wildcat. Catching that I know you guys saw it up here. That play, literally, it looked like Brexton was on 17 soapboxes or whatever. He had climbed up, went over the top, and I don't even know how he got it, but it was an unbelievable one-on-one play.
Fingertip, catch and just run right into the end zone.
It's beautiful. Yep. And so Brexton Green's a guy that stands out to me, in terms of just, doing it all. And certainly, I think we were talking that we might see a little bit more of that in the second half.
Yeah, and I told Chad, and I said, Brexton's been bottled up the last 2-3 weeks just because teams have been game planning against him. And tonight he said, I'm not letting that happen. I'm going to show out in this state championship game, and so far he has.
What do you guys think from the aspect of, Cashion's bigger games, the better opponents they played? It seems like we're going down that road again where Shocker's going to keep hammering, and, man, it just seems like it never fails. Late third, early fourth, number 9 starts taking over, and nobody can tackle him. They're tired. You're playing both sides of the ball. You're getting hit every play, and you think that's kind of where we're going, or you think we're going to kind of maybe open it up here going into the second half?
No, I think it's a fantastic point, Chad, and very observant. And I was thinking the same thing. I was talking with some of the guys on the sideline. It's like right now it's just slow going. Right, there's just a lot of junk right there at the line for Caden, number 9, but he popped a couple close ones, and to your point, he's going to get one. And here's the deal, you're thinking to yourself, why is Shaq throwing that screen out there over and over and over again? Some people will say it's that he's going to try to leak somebody out, but Thomas runs one safety, Hamberlin. He's running to have to run from the safety spot to the sideline to make that tackle every single time. So to your point, right, where you're going to need safety help coming up to help make that tackle, that's going to wear its toll. I mean, that'll I think will lend its toll. Now, the Hamberlin kid's a great athlete and probably conditioned, but I do agree with you. At some point, it's going to break, but it will have to happen because either Shaq stays consistent with the run and continues to feed the rock, or we hit a couple big throws across the middle to kind of loosen them up.
Yeah, and I think really they'll keep doing this, and not only just to benefit on the offensive side of the ball, but it's going to help benefit on the defensive side of the ball just because Aiden Kelly, the Billy kid, both of those kids are having to bring down number 9 almost, 5 or 6 times a drive for Cashion, and that wears on a kid. And the thing is, like you said, throwing that bubble screen out there to Mason, just like you said, that's not only going to help the offense, but that's going to help the defense because Hamberlin is having to make that run, and he's their best threat.
That's a 50-yard run. That's a 45-yard run.
He's their best threat
I'm
on
up
offense.
here as a basketball coach. To me, it's like they're running wind sprints.
Yeah.
I mean, we're making them run wind sprints every defensive possession. Yeah. And I will give credit to Thomas. I really think their 2 linebackers, number 22, Jace Miller, and number 58, David Stewart, have had great half of football. And but like I said, those guys are covering some ground every single play.
Well, it almost bit us in the butt because that one of those linebackers got his hand on the ball on that screen.
The last bubble.
It didn't even get to Manning that time.
Yeah. So
and the thing is, those guys coming up, and they're really keying off of Harrell and keying off of that bubble screen. So at some point, when do we start trying to sneak somebody into that little second level? Which, in the first game, where were our big plays? I know they were right there on them, had them well covered, but our big plays were those, passes into that second level a little bit deeper into that zone. Do we see Shaq kind of go to that, or do we see him keep a more conservative call and just keep hammering away just like he's been doing this first half?
That's probably what you're going to see, and, you're going to trust Coach Wood making the adjustments at halftime. To even shut down possibly Thomas even more. We were fortunate. It was absolutely a legal man downfield, but the Jackson Ward kid literally had 12 minutes. It was I swear Landon almost fell asleep. He was trying to figure out what the heck was going on there.
You give any good quarterback that much time back there and time to scramble. And good receivers are going to get open and try to find a way to get open, and that's exactly what happened. Like you said, we were fortunate with the illegal man downfield. But then again, on a screen play like that, the kid sniffed it out perfectly.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen on it. When you throw the ball down the field on the screen, is you're going to have those penalties.
Yeah.
Like that.
I gave Jackson Ward a little credit there because you see this on TV all the time in college football, pro football. When a screen gets blown up, what's the quarterback usually do? They just throw it at their feet. It's blown up. It's over.
Yeah.
Hey, he's pretty smart. Say, I'm going to throw it up to my, I'm going to throw it to my deep threat. And, hey, maybe the refs don't call it, and we, get one over on him here. So I kind of give him credit for that. So
it was a good ball. It was a good ball too.
Yeah, it was a good ball. But give Cashion credit.
Yeah.
Our
but
defensive
that
line
play
really
right
sniffed
there
that
shows
out.
you, though, do not fall asleep because they are capable of making big plays, and they've got the receivers. The Noah Rainwater and the Mannering kid are both big, long, rangy receivers that can get behind the defense, and if you fall asleep on them, they can make you pay.
Thomas though has kept it pretty. I don't want to say conservative, but I mean they've taken their deep shots actually on purpose have been to 33, the tight end. They went after him a couple times, but that's it. Really, it's been they're throwing the screens, they're throwing those shots to the outside, and that's been kind of their MO in the first half. So I do like what I see from Cashion in the tackling perspective for sure. And who gets the ball? Did we get the
Thomas?
Thomas gets the ball.
Thomas will, and that's what I talked about. It would have been, anybody's happy going into halftime at 14-0, but being 21, being 3 touchdowns up, when they're getting the ball coming out of the half, would have felt a lot better than 2 because if they get the ball, go down
or
the
a
score,
field goal.
It's a 1-score.
Did you guys talk about Christensen?
That's what we talked about. I told Chris, I think it was right before 4th down. I said, "Hey man, 53 weeks ago, we were right here in the same place in the second quarter. We had 4 shots to score. I think it was from the 2.
From the 2.
And we gave it to TJ 4 times and couldn't score it.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt us again. But that definitely was a major factor, obviously, last year in the game. And hopefully we can overcome that. But so what's your thoughts here on Thomas gets the ball? It's 14-0. To me, Thomas has to score, obviously, before Cashion scores. If Cashion scores first in the second half and Thomas almost has to become one-dimensional, that's going to be tough to overcome.
I agree, Chris. Obviously, Chris says it all the time regarding that opening possession, how important it is coming out, especially in these tight games. I look at this. I agree. I think, though, Thomas is also looking at close victories the last 2 weeks. Chris broke it down. They were down double digits to both teams. They came back, ended up winning. I promise you, Coach Ward is not panicking. Nobody's panicking. The Thomas guys are full of confidence, and so it'll be a situation where they're going to come out and try to run their stuff. But to your point, if we stuff them, and maybe they might get a couple first downs, but if we end up stuffing and they have to punt again, it is a bad sign.
Yeah, I think that 2-score to 3-score, that's a big difference. I think right now for Thomas, they've kept it within 2 scores the last couple of weeks, and they'll need to do that as a big stop for him to end the second quarter there.
Well, again, just the one thing that I do worry about for Cashion is just over pursuit. I really appreciate Ward has been able to find his screens. He's finding the side that we're blitzing Jacob Farrell on, and they're able to convert on that. But ultimately, look, as Chris is looking at kind of the game drive chart, their best series, they started inside the 10, went 9 plays, 45 yards. We have to keep them at second and long. If we keep them at second and long, then you talked about one-dimensional. We really cut down what they can do, and it makes them a little bit more predictable.
Yeah, I was wanting to pull that up and just see, with what their game plan is, and Chad said it was on that drive where they had 9 plays and 45 yards. Chad said they are going to, with the way their offense is working right now, they're going to have to be so clean and so efficient on the offensive side of the ball and not make any mistakes to get all the way down the field on this Cashion defense. It's going to be really, really hard to do. And if Cashion comes out in the second half and plays anything like they did in that first defensively, it's going to continue to be hard on the Terriers to move the ball unless Coach Ward just sees something that we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so tell me if I'm wrong, but 1 jet sweep in the first half from Thomas?
Well, one handoff. They've run that formation.
Was that going to be a jet
they've
sweep?
given it to him once, which we blew it up.
Nick tackled him, I think, 2 yards in the backfield.
Yeah, in the backfield.
Was that going to be a jet sweep when they blew themselves up? Little friendly fire?
On the fumble? When they fumbled it? It's possible. That was funny.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of that, leading tackler, actually, Kyler George Skylar George with 4. They have Nathan Abavi here. That's incorrect. That would be a Nick Nabavi. I'm not sure Nathan
is having a game.
He is
on
having
the
a game with
sideline.
four tackles. Jackson Vandruff off the edge and Justice Broadbent. So it shouldn't be a surprise. There are 2 DNs there with 6 tackles on the game in the top. And you know what? Caden Harrell, I don't necessarily think he's pressing or trying too hard. I just think they're game planning they're game planning everything to stay away from 9.
And Coach Ward in the coach's corner kind of said that. I think we're going to stay away from 9. I mean, he's a kid that can beat you, and they're going to try to go at somebody weaker than him. And there's a lot of people weaker than him.
Let me ask you this: so they're running a lot of jet sweeps. They've run the Ward kid maybe once or twice up the middle. Why aren't they sending Harrell up the middle and sending him free in a gap? Is that just a waste, or we get in trouble with that? It just seems like he's just kind of stuck in mud out there in the middh, not doing anything.
I think they were kind of just leaving him there, being being safe that first half. In the second half, I guarantee you, Coach Shackelford or Coach Wood is probably thinking that same thing. Those are the only 2 things that really got us. And I told Chad during the game, I said, give Caden Harrell a little time to see those plays unfold. He's going to be flying to the ball and hitting somebody up the middle this second half.
Yeah, and we sit here and we talk about, man, it's been a struggle to run the ball. Caden Harrell struggling. Cashion's ran for over 100 yards in the first half tonight.
Yeah.
So it tells you how spoiled we are. Watching Cashion week in, week out everybody would love to run for 100 yards, per half. So a good job, but Brexton coming in and that wildcat formation had a lot to do with that, and Ben breaking off some runs as well.
Yeah, Ben. If Ben would have kept his feet there on that last,
I think
he was in.
Space.
He slipped. I think he would have at least gotten close to the goal line. I think he had a chance. He had a lane. He had a nice that run that he made there for the first touchdown was really, really good. Good vision there on the hole, and was able to stay low. And it might be Ben Harmon keeping it, right? That's right now he's the only one that's unaccounted for.
Yep.
They're having to load everything up for Caden Harrell, and Ben's the unaccounted for. And if he can keep his feet and find positive yards, it'll at least keep them honest.
Yep. And I like the fact that Cashion, and before I go on with that, we're in uncharted waters. Lynn Shackelford punted the ball on the opposition side of the field on 4th and less than 5 yards. So that's the world we live in Cashion football now. I've been around a long time, and I've seen a lot of riverboat gambling going on, but this Tony Wood defense kind of limited Lynn's gambling habits a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, let's see what happens. In these types, Lynn's been here. I don't know what goes through a mind of a coach who's been as successful as he has. There's very few people that have been more successful than him. And then when you look at the fact that he's still trying to find that first gold ball, he's probably reevaluated and evaluated everything that he's ever done, probably even down to the helmet color tonight, right? You know how superstitious people are. But, I think it's a situation where you do what you got to do and just let your playmakers do what they need to do out on the field. Guys, I'm out of here.
Okay.
By the way, what was your prediction?
28-7.
Okay. I like it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Like
it worked.
All right, you guys, thanks so much for having me.
All right, thanks, Neiman. Enjoy the game down there on the sidelines. Chris, you want to take a break here?
Yeah, we'll take a quick break.
They're about to put the 3-minute mark in here for the stretch and warm-up period for these guys. So we'll take a break and run some of the great ads from our sponsors here, sponsors at Cashion Wildcat TV. We appreciate everything they do to help make this go. And we'll be back with you shortly, and we'll get this second half underway.
For 31 years and counting, Community State Bank has taken great pride in being your hometown bank. With branches located in Cashion, Dover, and Hennessy, CSB strives to reflect the small-town hospitality these communities are known for. Our friendly staff is here to serve you and provide one of the best banking experiences around, equipping our customers with the latest in banking technology combined with a personal, down-home relationship. Come into one of our local branches or visit us at www.mycsb.com. Community State Bank, small-town banking, the way it should be. Member FDIC. Christy Perry is a Cashion-based attorney providing clients in Oklahoma with trusted, experienced legal counsel regarding wills and trusts, bankruptcy, and other areas of law. Flexible scheduling is available to discuss your options, and your first consultation is free. If you need assistance regarding a legal matter, call your local Oklahoma licensed attorney, Christy Perry, at 918-373-0882.
Hey, it's Chris here.
The Cashion Wildcats have a legacy of success. Hard work and being prepared is how that legacy is protected. Home, auto, business, or life, the agents at Gibson Legacy Insurance will do the hard work to make sure you are prepared and your legacy is protected. Call or text me today at 405-283-3947 for your free insurance quotes. Go Wildcats!
Absolute Pools, Lawns, and Landscape is not your ordinary pool builder. From traditional to exotic and anything in between, our staff offers paramount quality and service through the entire design and build process. We provide service to the entire OKC metro and surrounding towns. So relax, knowing our team is wholeheartedly committed to building a trusting and lasting relationship with you. Visit us on Facebook or give us a call today at 405-285-9729. Absolute Pools, Lawns, and Landscape.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers.
Talk about a win-win.
Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
Cashion FBC is a church seeking to grow in Christ and our love for the body of Christ. With ministries from children to youth to adults, we strive to present the gospel in an engaging and meaningful way. Sunday school meets at 9:45 a.m. and worship starts at 11 a.m. Children and youth meet on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Please check our website at cashionfbc.org for more information, and we hope to see you this Sunday, located a half-mile east of Cashion.
At Water Heater Man, we specialize in repairing and replacing all water heaters. We service the OKC metro and surrounding towns with fast, reliable service. We keep our vans fully stocked with essential parts needed for basic repairs, and new tanks are always on the vans ready to go. We offer free estimates on all jobs with financing options available. We match manufacturer's warranty for all newly replaced water heaters. We'll get your water heater back up and running as fast as possible so you don't have to put your life on hold waiting for service. Give us a call today. 405-844-TANK. That's 405-844-8265. Go Wildcats!
All right, we are back, ready to start the third quarter of this 2020 Class A state final game between the Cashion Wildcats and Thomas Terriers. Cashion will kick off to start the third quarter. Chris, 14-0. Cashion pitching a shutout. That Tony Wood defense just doing everything they can to slow down this Thomas offense, and a little bit more of that, and we're going to be right where we need to be.
And, Shaq has said it time and time again. He's like, we've always had that offense. Finally, these last couple of years, Tony Wood has really got this defense firing on all cylinders. And really, if we're going to win this game, that's going to be what's going to win it.
And Christensen's kickoff left sideline, and that is to number 4, Noah Rainwater. He'll go back up the middle, and he's met by a host of Cashion Wildcats. Number 22 for Cashion, that is Jake Branson in there. Sophomore in there helping make the stop. And Thomas, Chris, got to get some rhythm. They've moved the ball here and there, but really no consistent flow offensively. They got to do something. What can Thomas do here to kind of get the ball rolling downhill a little bit?
I think what they need to do is really get maybe a short passing game going or something, because, that running that jet sweep hasn't been working. The little bubble screens have been the most successful thing that they've really had all game long.
And Ward will take the snap, and he'll go left side, and there's Baldwin again. And he makes one miss, but he'll be brought down eventually there by Justice Broadbent after a gain of 5. And like we said a couple times in the first half, Hamberlin's he's done okay. He's rushed for some yards, 30, 40 yards, and had some decent runs. But Baldwin's kind of been the main guy carrying the load.
Yeah, you look at the stats. Hamberlin only has 52 yards rushing, and I think 25 of that came with one run.
One big one there.
And, other than that, he's been bottled up, and he's a kid that's used to getting 200 yards a game.
Right. Ward hands off to Hamberlin, and he'll go up the middle. And he'll move around. Looks like he'll have a gain of about 4.
Big fourth down right here.
Yeah, big third down there.
Oh, third down. I'm sorry.
Yeah, third
they
down.
Just changed it. Yep.
Justice Broadbent in there on the tackle again. 3rd and 1. So Thomas really, hey, only down 2 scores here. Sticking. I mean, it's the same game plan we saw in the first half.
Yep. And he's thinking we're only down 1 touchdown. If we
Right.
get down, drive this field, get back in this ball game, make it a 1-possession game, and that's where they're very comfortable in that position.
They'll throw it to Baldwin again over to the left side. Quick throw, gets rid of it. Gets it out. Ward gets it out of his hands quickly, and Baldwin will have enough for a first down, and he'll move it forward for about 6 or 7 yards. So Thomas, like I said, sticking with that game plan, and like Chris just said, if they can get out the field and get a score, I mean, they're right where they need to be. So Coach Ward keeping them consistent. 1st and 10. Ward, he'll hand to Hamberlin going right. He's tripped up there early, and looks like Jackson Vandruff with some pressure there, Chris, on that right side for Thomas, and he blew that up pretty quick.
Yeah, and what we're seeing here, and the reason they're having a little bit of success on the edge, throwing it out to the number 2, the Baldwin kid, is because just kind of the reason that Pawhuska had some success throwing underneath, because they're really not letting anything. They've got 2 guys playing over the top, the 2 safeties that are playing 20 yards off the ball. They're not going to let any big play happen. And as it gets closer to the end zone, that defense stiffens up, and it's really hard to get those outside plays.
And Hamberlin there on the carry. Kyler George impedes Hamberlin's progress early right there at the line of scrimmage. Hamberlin kind of sneaks away before Nick Nabavi and Caden Harrell can get him wrapped up, but only a short gain of 3. 3rd and 7. Big play here for Thomas as they approach midfield and try to keep this drive alive early in the 3rd. Trips left. Hamberlin with Ward. Ward will take a shotgun snap. He's going to fake it to Hamberlin, and now he's going to look deep. Left sideline, well covered out there by Max Brown, but he can't find the ball, and number 24, Jackson Mannering, goes up, and there it is, Chris. Thomas connects on a big one.
Yeah, and right there, I mean, we've seen this. That's almost the same thing that happened in the first Thomas Cashion game. Ward just throws it up and gives it a jump ball. Our cornerback, that time it was Max Brown, just got turned around, couldn't find the ball, and the Mannering kid just did a good job getting the ball.
Oh, quick out to Baldwin, and Gavin Fippen blows up the block that time, and he meets Baldwin immediately. That'll be a loss of a yard there. And, yeah, you're right, Chris. I mean, Mannering goes about 6'4". I mean, that dude's a tall drink of water, and, Max may be 6 foot 6'1", and Max was right there with him. Just couldn't really find the ball, and once he did, it was too late. He wasn't winning that jumping contest. So, 2nd down and 12, and Ward hands to Hamberlin. He's got space right side. And a great job there closing down that run, coming across the field.
Braxton.
Is that Braxton?
Yeah,
Braxton did a good job there, Chris, because that looked like it was going to go to the end zone.
That play right there, I was sitting there looking, I was like, man, that looks like a touchdown. And then out of nowhere comes Braxton Green flying in and makes the tackle, and they only got about 4 yards on the play.
3rd and 7, and here comes another early flag. So somebody's lined up. Either Cashion's lined up in the neutral zone, and we'll have a dead ball offsides on Cashion. We got some sort of illegal formation or early movement on Thomas, because this is no doubt a dead ball penalty, maybe a sideline warning. We'll see. Sideline warning on Cashion. And Coach Wood's kind of known to get a little too far out on the field every once in a while.
I think last week, Coach Wilson was out there dragging Tony off the field.
I spent the whole game on the sidelines, and it's fun to watch them try to contain him down there. 3rd down and 7. Approaching the 10-yard line for Thomas as they are trying to do what the Terriers do, which is climb back into football games. Down 2 scores. Ward fakes to Hamberlin, and Baldwin's wide open in the seam. Gavin Fippen comes up and closes it down, but Baldwin's going to have a gain of about 5 yards, Chris.
It's going to be 4th and 1.
Looks like we're going to be at another – well, they're going to mark that right at the 5. 4th down and 1. It looks like that yard to gain is right at the 5, so I guess they're a little short. 4th and 1. Big play here. Let's see if Cashion can man up on that line of scrimmage. They give it to Hamberlin. He's got space right side. Definitely a first down, Chris. It looks like
Cade
He's
Harrell
down to
came
the 1.
flying through the middle and was just a little off
Yep.
and didn't get to meet Hamberlin in the backfield. If he would have met him head on in the backfield, it would have been a huge loss. But as it was, Hamberlin snuck by enough for the first down to the 1 yard line.
First down and goal on the 1 yard line, and another penalty. This could be another sideline warning on Cashion.
I don't think it'll be a warning this time.
Well, excuse me, yeah. Sideline offense, which is a great time to get it. It'll cost you about 6 inches. We'll see. They're talking here. And Coach Shackelford does not look happy.
He's all the way at the 1 yard line. Coach Tony Wood is at the 10, where you can be at the 10 this year. You can be at the 10 yard line, and he threw the flag on him.
Yeah, Shackelford taking up there for his defensive coordinator there, trying to plead his case. But like I said, not much of a penalty. It cost about 6 inches.
Shaq's trying to get another one.
First down and goal. Like I said, it's a good time to get it. Ward takes a snap, and he'll keep it, and he'll go straight forward. Jackson Ward into the end zone, and the Thomas Terriers are on the scoreboard, Chris, and that's what we talked about. Can they come out, establish themselves within what they do, still doing what they do, and get themselves on the scoreboard? And they took up almost half the quarter on that drive, and that's what Thomas does.
Yep, and if you thought they were out of this game, you were thinking wrong. And we said it over and over again how big of that getting held out of the end zone was going into the halftime. And now Thomas did exactly what they had to do to get back in this ball game. And now
like that.
7-14, the extra point went through.
The extra point's good.
And so now Cashion, what they have to do is just come out and answer.
Yep.
Really, that drive, the biggest play of that drive, we had them, was it third down when they threw the big, long pass play? Third and long, throw a big, long pass play, almost exactly like the first game. First game. I mean, that besides it happened in the first half. This time it happened early in the second quarter. Now Cashion just has to come out in this third quarter, establish that run game like they did in the first game, and really just pound away and finish this ball game out. But this is going to be a huge drive for Cashion here.
Yeah, you're dead on. That is, the spitting image of the first game between these two teams. One big, long pass play for Thomas, and that eventually got him in the end zone. And Cashion reestablished themselves after that and did a great job defensively. But that was what Thomas needed, and we got ourselves a
football
game right now.
I love it.
Yep. And so Ryan Looper will kick off here. Ryden Looper will kick off for Thomas. Back deep for Cashion Brexton Green, and we'll see if we got any trickery up Bob Ward's sleeve. But yep, there's the onside kick. It's bouncing, and it will go out of bounds.
We
got a penalty flag anyway.
They were across the line before the ball was kicked.
Thomas was across the 40 before the ball was kicked.
I don't know if anybody, probably not. I'm a football nerd. I went and watched the Ringling-Thomas game, but Thomas got one on Ringling.
Yep.
They touched the ball about the 49-yard line on their side of the ball and got an onside kick. And that time right there, they were trying to kind of do that same kind of play and got caught this time, getting across that line before the ball was kicked.
Funny thing there is one of the Thomas coaches there after the flag. He was inside the numbers talking to the official.
But they didn't get a sideline.
No penalty flag.
Their line judge over there must be a little more lenient than what we got.
But now, good news for Thomas there is that ball, it was going to go out of bounds. Cash was about to take over Chris on the inside the 50-yard line on Thomas' side of the field. But that because it's an offside, Thomas gets to redo it.
Yep.
And they'll kind of squib it to the left side. Ball rolling, and it will go out of bounds. Great hustle there.
Wow.
By number 14 by Thomas. He was only a couple steps away. Jet Thomas in there was trying to track that down. But Cashion expecting something over to that Thomas sideline, and that guy swung that leg around and put it in a good spot there.
Yeah, that kickoff had a spin on it, a little English, and it just kind of floated right out there, and there was a guy flying in. It was almost, I don't know if it was planned or not, but if it was planned, they almost executed it to perfection, but it just happened to bound out of bounds at the last second, and Cashion got it at their own 41-yard line.
Yeah, ball went out of bounds, about the 36. So the 5-yard penalty because of the kick out of bounds. Cashion will take over first down and 10. Their first drive, second half. And Harmon will go to Harrell, who's met quickly by 71 and 53. Two big men up front, Camden Billy and Aiden Kelly, both in on that play. And still nothing nothing really there for Mr. Harrell.
Aiden Kelly was pushing through a block, pushing through, I think, his nose guard, and had a hold of Harrell, I think, around 3 people. I mean, that right there is just imposing his will and showing the power that he has up there from the OSU commit.
So second down, they'll give Harrell 1 on that. Second down and 9. Harrell to Harmon's right, trips right. Harmon takes the snap, fakes, nope, gives to Harrell, little space this time, and he'll drive forward as he powers through a defender that time. And Harrell will go for about 5 yards there. Man, that was a textbook Caden Harrell run right there.
You talk about hard-nosed run and football right now. Those last 2 plays are the definition of it. The Terriers kind of got the best of them the first play. We only got about a yard. That time, Caden Harrell just ran right into the linebacker and put him on his back and got about 5 yards.
Yep. Third down and 3. Go to Harrell again. Now he'll bounce it this time, and he will get the edge, and he'll break another tackle down the left sideline. Still going. Finally takes 2 Thomas Terriers to get him out of bounds. But this is the first time, Chris, we've seen him bounce one outside the edge, and Thomas had everybody committed to that initial hole, and it just didn't work out for Thomas as Caden hits that left edge and then broke another tackle.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was kind of waiting and had a thought earlier, thinking, man, when are they going to kind of really test that edge? Because in that first game, that's where they found some success, was on that left side and getting Caden Harrell out there with some of those smaller cornerbacks, linebackers, and that time they did it, and he had a huge gain.
Harrell again. Now they'll test the waters again right up the middle.
How many carries is that for Harrell in a row right there?
Five or 6. Yeah, he's carrying the load, and we talked about that at halftime.
Yep.
Shaq ain't going to let up. He's going to make you do it for 4 quarters, and we're seeing a little bit more bend, not a lot, especially up in those A gaps. We're seeing a little bit of bend, but not too much. But second down and 8. Harrell trying to make a little more hay this half, and they'll go back to him again right up the middle, maybe a yard or 2, as Kelly's there again. As he's so hard to block and contain, and does a good job there of taking on a double team.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not like we're not trying to double team him. We are double teaming, triple teaming him, and he just still. And the thing is, you triple team him, the Camden Billy kid on the other side is going to. He's manhandling our linemen, and but I mean they're doing everything they can in their power to slow down 71, and it's just not happening.
3rd and 7 now Green to Harmon's left. Justice Broadbent in the game. And timeout. I don't think Coach Shackford liked how that play
was coming together.
So he calls his first timeout of the second half. We're already, Chris, we're getting close to the end of the 3rd quarter already with these 2 long drives from each team.
Yeah, and the thing is Shaq's thinking, we get in the end zone here. That's exactly what he wants. So he wants to pound the ball, run the clock down. That's exactly what happened in that first game against Thomas. In the 3rd quarter, we got the ball and ran the ball all the way down to the 1-yard line and scored on the first play of the 4th quarter.
Right.
And it just kind of drained the life out of Thomas going into that 4th quarter down two touchdowns. And that's kind of what Coach Shackelford's thinking. If we can get in the end zone here and pound them and really run this clock all the way down and almost bleed it to the 4th quarter, we have a great shot to win. But that's a bigger task than just saying it, because between the 18-yard line and the goal line is a lot of Thomas Terriers that do not want that to happen again.
No doubt. Yeah. So 3rd and 7, 4:19 left in the 3rd quarter. Cashion up by 7, 14-7.
Mason Manning's kind of over here by himself.
Manning singled up over here to Harmon's right. Harmon will take the snap. He's going to keep it and go left. He's got room. Ben Harmon makes a move up the middle, left side, and that will be a 1st and goal as Shackelford comes out of the timeout, plays off that Herald run game, and lets Harmon go left into some wide open space. And
it's like they're bringing the Wildcat offense back in. Harmon is going to the sideline.
Yep.
So
it's going to be Brexton Green time, and maybe we'll see that little pop pass here, Tim Tebow style.
And Nima brought that up at halftime, and I don't know if we brought it up on air or not, but a lot of times he gets a little insight
Yeah,
to what
down there
happens.
on that sideline. But Brexton's going to keep it, and he's going to go right up the middle. But, I mean, it is a pile.
And this time, he did that maybe just to get them, keep them honest, keep them on that inside. Look for him to try to bounce it to the outside. I mean, Brexton's got the speed and the strength to get out there on the edge. And if he gets out there on the edge one-on-one with, Baldwin out here or Hamberlin even, he's a strong kid that can push 4 or 5 yards into the end zone.
Yep. Cashion, it looks like Harmon's going to go back out, though. They're trying to get the play in, and you're going to have to hurry up. They're going to burn another timeout, which we don't want to do this early in the second half after already using one in this drive. 6 seconds on the play clock, 5. Harmon will send Green in motion, and he'll hand to Harrell left side. Little space early, and he'll carry a couple defenders down to the 1 yard line. Caden Harrell with a strong 4-yard run right there, Chris, to put Cashion right on the doorstep.
Do you remember the first play of the fourth quarter of that Thomas game? What happened?
He ran right over somebody.
Hamberlin,
yeah. I mean,
Hamberlin and Caden Harrell met at the goal line, and Caden Harrell smoked him. Let's see if that play doesn't play out again.
Harmon to Harrell, left side, and he is jammed up. Still fighting. They're going to mark him. This near side guy's got him right inside, about the half-yard line. Kelly getting up off the bottom of the pile. That's no surprise. It is not easy sledding trying to get a half a yard or a yard right here on the goal line with number 71, Aiden Kelly, and 53, Camden Billy, ready to meet you at the line of scrimmage. So Harmon calling it out the play to his lineman. 4th down and goal from the 1. This is a big one right here. Harmon will take the snap. He's going to keep it right side. Touchdown. He leads in. He's in. Ben Harmon with a tough, hard-nosed run. Sticks his head in there. Gets the ball over the end line. And Cashion answers Thomas's scoring drive and puts this thing back up to 2 scores, Chris. What a drive by Cashion.
I mean, just hammering the ball up the middle between the tackles against a team that has a D1 commit and another kid on the other side that could play at the next level, and just driving it down their throat and running the clock all the way down to less than 2 minutes left in this third quarter.
Lance Christensen out for the extra point here. Missed on his first try early. He was on the other end that time. Maybe this one going to be a little nicer. No wind at all. Snap off up right a little bit. Brexton gets it down, and Lance is good this time, and Cashion is back up 14 with 1:53. Chris, you going to hit this thing on the head, aren't you?
Let's do it. I would be very happy if I hit this on the head. I would be happy if it stays exactly what it is.
Oh, yeah, no
doubt.
But
listen, guys, that's why I did it. Because, I mean, how many times in this game have we said, man, that looks exactly like the first game. That play happened, or that drive reminds us of the first game. Watching these two teams in that first game to now, and watching film on both of them, and I mean, I just saw both teams have gotten better, but I just couldn't see any kind of differentiating. One team got way better than the other one in any of the film, and so I just thought, man, it could be a game that kind of repeats itself from the other one, early one this season. But, man, there's a lot of game left. There's a fourth quarter. 21-7 is nothing to them. These kids, like I said, they were down 20-7 when they came back and won the last 2 ball games.
Yep, and what a statement drive there by Cashion. I mean, just leaning on the run and, like you said, going right at the strength of the Thomas defense and just, asserting their will running the football. And so Thomas now back against the wall, down 2 scores, 1:53 here in the third. Need to answer here as Christensen will kick off. Back for Thomas is Hamberlin. This will go to number 4, Rainwater at the 10. He'll come up the middle, and he will be met by Mr. Vandriff. Jackson Vandriff, sophomore, number 88, makes the play.
Yeah, looking at the kickoffs, they look a little different because who's not out there covering the kickoffs that usually hammers people?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Farrow. Jacob Farrow is not out there on the kickoffs because, he's playing the game and he's doing a great job, but they are limiting him a little bit from the injury he sustained last week. But Braxton Green is filling in for him on the kickoff. I think he's been on every tackle on special teams.
Hamberlin right side tries to avoid Nick Nabavi as Nick comes up to fill the hole. Nick holds his water well, and Hamberlin can't shake him, and Nick takes him down right there at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Great job there by Nabavi to him in, number 23.
The Hamberlin just
Ethan
tries
Hamberlin.
to bounce it outside,
Yep.
and man, Nick has done a great job of tackling him one-on-one in space.
Second down, and now give him 9, and they'll go to – no, Ward's going to keep it as he fakes it to Hamberlin. He goes left side.
He's
And
hammered.
he's met by Justice Broadbent and Caden Harrell. He earned that gain as he took a hit there at the end of that one, but good gain there for Thomas as they're right where they want to be, Chris, 3rd and short.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That was a good play call by Coach Ward. Everybody's kind of keying on Hamberlin, sneaking Ward, the quarterback, out to that left side. But really, as big and wide open as an opportunity he had, it really didn't go for much.
Oh, nice play there by Cashion as Ward gets it out quickly on the edge. And Mason Manning blows it up to Baldwin, but Manning is down as he tried to make the tackle.
And he's grabbing at his arm.
Grabbing
It's
a
almost
knee
like
there.
he pulled his arm or something, or his
His
shoulder.
arm kind of got contorted there as
Yeah.
he tried to hang on to number 2, Owen Baldwin. So we'll hope Mason's all right there. Mason big right now in this game with, he's going to have to play a little more. Not that he's not used to it, but with Farrow's injury, Mason might, have to carry a little more weight on defense. So hopefully Mason will be all right here as the coaching staff and the trainers are checking on him.
Yeah, and see if Nima can get down there and really stick his head in there and see what's going on there. But where they're looking at him is shoulder, and the way he was laying there on the ground, not moving that arm, it looked like a shoulder kind of popped out of socket. A lot of times they can pop those back in. You got your adrenaline going, you can probably still play.
Yeah.
But man, just
You
hope
feel it tomorrow, but
hopefully he can get up and play, because that was a huge play right there.
Oh wow, he blew
Third
that
down,
up.
came up, blew it up, didn't make the tackle, but slowed him down enough where. We had plenty of time for the other Cashion Wildcats to fly to the ball and make the tackle before he got to the first down.
Manning is to his feet, walking off. He looks like he's going to be all right. Looked like at first there, and I misspoke. It looked like he rolled over and was grabbing that knee, but he was rolling over on the on his good shoulder, holding his bad shoulder. So, but he looks like he's kind of.
Nima is right there. He's going to text us. He said he thinks it was a stinger at first, but he's right there listening almost to the trainer. So we'll get a really good. Firsthand.
Nonetheless, I mean, great play by Manning there, and Lagasse coming to help clean it up. And now here we go. Thomas forced into a pretty tough spot here, Chris. 4th down and 3 on their own 36-yard line, and they will go to their main man, Hamberlin, and he is eaten up at the line of scrimmage. And, man, Cashion just right there to shut that down early, and that Cashion sideline and that defense, Chris, is fired up.
Justice Broadbent, I think he kind of came off the edge and got behind the line of scrimmage and got on him, and then, man, that front push of Cashion Wildcats going against those big boys from Thomas is unbelievable that they were able to get back there and stop them on that 4th down, huge 4th down, to give them the ball back on their own, or on Thomas' side of the field at the 36-yard line.
So 19 seconds left. We're winding down here in the 3rd quarter of play, and we'll give it to Harrell. He'll go left side, and he'll get a couple, as that will probably end our 3rd quarter with Cashion on the plus side of this field trying to push this thing to 3 scores.
And
as
a
the
kid
clock
that
will
is
run
out there, a kid that's out there battling right now is Kyler George.
Yep.
He has gotten up 4 or 5 times just limping and coming. He's the one having to try to stop Aiden Kelly, and he is doing a great job. I mean, he ain't stopping him every time, and you're not going to. But for the size of kid he is compared to what he's going against, he is battling down there tonight, and he will be a big reason why we win this game if we can keep doing what we're doing and hold on to this lead.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to that Cashion line, as we talked about. As we've talked about, trying to keep that run game going. But we're going to go to a quick commercial. We'll come back and we'll get this 4th quarter underway.
Gateway Realty is a mother-daughter team that has a heart for small-town life. Both Anita and Kelly were born and raised in Cashion and are still raising their families here. Their family homesteaded in Cashion in 1908, and it's been home ever since. Anita and Kelly know this town, love this town, and would love to help make this your home too. For a friendly face and trustworthy knowledge, call these hometown girls at 405-641-7388. Go Wildcats!
All right, we're back. Here we go, Chris. Fourth quarter. This is what it's all about as Cashion leads 21-7. We keep referring to that last contest between Cashion and Thomas. I'm kind of beating a dead horse here, but same thing. I mean, Cashion up 21-7 in the fourth quarter. Went down, scored to kind of really put it out of reach. And here we are kind of in the same position, maybe a little earlier in the fourth quarter, but Cashion 2nd down and 8 in Thomas's territory. And Harmon will keep it. Big hole, right side, tries to make one miss, tried to make Baldwin miss, and if he could have made Baldwin miss, he was to the house, Chris, as he had a big hole there.
Baldwin did a great job in space with lots of room to run behind him, brought Ben Harmon down. Wow. What can you say about that kid? Baldwin, for a sophomore,
that's a big play.
In a big game, he's made big plays on both sides of the ball, and that was one of the biggest ones so far.
3rd down and 6. They tried to draw Thomas off, but I guess he did not get into the neutral zone as the linesman over here on the Cashion sideline does not throw the flag. Harmon and Green and Harrell in the backfield, and they go left side. Manning's back. He's going to dance right, back left. Tries to make a play, but he's still on his feet. They can't get him down. That kid, he is tough to bring down to the ground, but they finally force him out of bounds, and looks like no gain on the play. It'll be 4th and 6.
Yeah, and Manning there, he came out earlier. He was down. Nima did say it was the shoulder, but he was good, and he was going back in. And I really think that's kind of what happened. It was either a stinger or that shoulder kind of popped out. But when you're in a game like this, adrenaline's going, you're not going to keep that kid out of the ball game.
4th down and 6. Cashion trying to extend this drive. Thomas has to have a stop here, as this 4th down is huge for the Terriers. Trips right, single left, and Harmon's going to call timeout as the play clock was about to expire on him. So
like
Shackelford and Harmon will talk it over.
Trying to get them to jump off there, and they were going to call that timeout just to talk about this big 4th down play. You do not like to see that we only have one left, but with the lead and not playing from behind, it's not as big of a thing as if you were down and you start running out of those timeouts.
I've been around, Shackelford and we've been around each other for a long time, and I've seen Shaq a lot in this situation. You know what he's going to come out and do right here?
You think it's going to be a screen?
Or he'll run the football. He'll spread you out, and he'll run the football 3rd and 6 or 4th and 6. Yeah. I've seen it many a times with Lynn. And see, he'll go against the grain a little bit right here, and I would not be shocked to see Caden or Ben run this football right here. And it might be the safe thing to do, up 2 scores with 11 minutes and 7 seconds in the fourth quarter.
Coming into this fourth quarter, I mean, we're at rush yards, 169 yards to 81 passing. So right there, I mean, we've kind of been making our hay running the ball, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be right there with you if he did run that ball.
And Ben won't give it to Harrell. He's not in the game, and Brexton Green's back there. And I think Brexton was leaning right there, and I think we're going to get illegal motion as Brexton kind of lost his balance. Shoulders started falling forward.
Shaq's saying run the same play.
Yep. He must have liked it. Yeah. So he must have liked it. So, but you're going to need 11 instead of 6. So.
And maybe he thought he had a play that they were going to try to score. They were going to go big or go home on that. And he liked what he saw, but who knows, he may see something different here and call out of it.
Nabavi split wide right. Now Harmon's back. A lot of pressure. He'll roll right. He's going to have to get wide to get the first down. Looks like he's going to have it.
Go.
Hesitates.
First down.
About cost us there, but Ben does a good job. Scared us a little bit there, Chris, as he hesitated about.
The line judge over there marked it short.
Yeah. About 2 yards from the line of scrimmage, and we got a Terrier down back behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, where
looks
he
like
marked
number 53. That's Camden Billy. That's huge for Thomas, obviously.
Yeah.
Big junior offensive lineman, defensive lineman, just of that compliment to Aiden Kelly.
Yeah.
But Ben's able to scramble.
It's going to be
believe.
short.
No, they're marking him short, Chris.
And that's what I said. They had him originally on the 26-yard line. whenever he finally put the ball down, it was about the 26.5-yard line, and that's short of the line to gain.
Yeah, Neiman's down there, and he's definitely questioning that spot. But it really looked like Ben ran, unless this, maybe his outside foot hit the out of bounds line. It looked like he really clearly went out of bounds in front of the marker. But we'll see here. They're kind of looking at it, but it looks like it's going to definitely be fourth in just a matter of inches.
And they measured, and I'm pretty sure they haven't made the announcement yet, but and the Thomas fans haven't reacted yet to that, holding them on fourth down, because one of their better players is down on the side on the field and hasn't got up yet.
Yeah, just pure speculation on my part, but it looked like Billy was holding his knee, but he's got those big braces on. Hopefully he's, it's not too bad. As he's up, he's trying to walk on his own account here, and he's putting a little pressure on it. So hopefully the braces paid off there for number 53, Camden Billy. Hate to see a kid like that not be able to come back and finish this football game.
And they did give the ball to Thomas, so it was short. Yeah, he definitely
that was
in a
fourth
championship
down,
game.
Yep.
Championship game to see one of their best players on the sideline and being helped off the sideline. Hopefully, like you said, maybe get over there, look at it. Maybe it'll be not as bad as you think, and get back in there.
So my fault there. I did not call that well, as I assumed that was a first down, but Harmon must have stepped out early, and Thomas does get the stop. And Jackson Ward back at quarterback will fake to his man Hamberlin. He'll pump, roll left, look back deep,
Holding.
Flag down. Looks like we're going to have a hold as Ward escapes to the left. Gains a couple yards there as he's forced out of bounds on the scramble. But that flag looks like it, and that's deep back. Where they threw that flag, Chris, it is deep back there.
Yeah, he had lots of time to throw the ball, but I think the reason why is because Camden Maroney was back there in chase and pretty much just got tackled. And like you said, it is way back behind the line of scrimmage where he went down. So that's where they will back him up 10 yards from that spot, and it will be first and about 20.
Yeah, holding definitely the call there and confirmed. And it will be first down and, right at 20 yards for Thomas here. Back on their own 15-yard line. Ward back by himself in the pocket. He'll go quick right side. And Baldwin again, who's got a ton of catches so far tonight, and he'll break a tackle before eventually being brought down by number 9, Caden Harrell. Gain of about 9 yards there.
Yeah, Nick was there initially and had him dead to rights, and just Baldwin just slipped right past him. Caden Harrell was there to clean it up, though. Back to the original line of scrimmage.
9 catches now for Owen Baldwin, sophomore for Thomas. Second down, 11. And now Ward dropped back, and he's going to go deep right sideline. Nick Nabavi there with number 4, Noah Rainwater. And Nick does a good job not only getting his hands up, but, Chris, he got his head around, which is really important as he turned and looked back for the football. Even though he really wasn't trying to catch the football, he did get his head around.
Yeah, and that was another one of those plays where the Ward kid is great at just throwing the ball up and getting some air under it and giving his receivers a chance to go up and make a play, because whenever that ball goes up that high in the air and you're chasing somebody like Nick was, it's hard to turn and find that ball.
Yep.
Like you said, he had his hands up, turned to look for the ball, and it kind of bounced off of him. Great play by Nick, a linebacker covering one of their best receivers.
Yep. Nice for Cashion to be able to have that opportunity to have their linebackers out there in coverage. On the blitz, Broadbent blows it up, forces Jackson Ward to get rid of the ball quickly. On 3rd and 11, I think Ward was wanting to hold on to that a little longer, Chris, but he had no choice but to get that out to Baldwin, who was blanketed and brought down immediately.
Yeah, I mean, Justice came on that blitz off that side where they were throwing it to, and almost knocked the ball down, and got the ball out to Baldwin, but Landon was there. And like I talked early in the game, how good of a tackler he has become. And, man, just got there on him and dropped him for a loss.
Yep. So Thomas forced to punt now, deep in their own territory, and this will bounce, get decent Thomas bounce, kind of a little Australian-style kick. It will go out of bounds on the the Cashion 40-yard line. Wildcats will take over now, Chris. Up 2 scores, 9:22 left. You can go down definitely, obviously, and finish this thing off here with a 3, 4, 5-minute scoring drive, and Thomas in the position where they're going to have to load up and stop the run and get this ball back.
Well, on that drive right there, they got out of what their game plan was. They went to trying to pass the ball and really became one-dimensional right there in that play, and that's when Coach Ward decided to, all right, let's make a shift and try to do something. And that's what they did against Ringling and how they got Ringling on their heels.
Yeah, you're right.
And Cashion, they hung with them and didn't let that happen.
A little reverse here. Harmon hands off
call holding
to Brexton Green as he breaks some tackles, gets some space, but that one looks like it's coming back. It's hard for those linemen and those blockers to hold those blocks that long on that type of play.
Braxton Green kind of saw the flag go down, and he saw it, and he just pretty much stepped out of bounds, so nothing happened after the play. But, man, right there, our blockers out on the edge have done such a good job this year, and they are so physical when they block. A lot of times when they pancake a guy, sometimes it looks like a good block to me, but officials call that holding, and they have a lot better angle than I do. But, man, you hate to see that play right there because I think Brexton had kind of broke and could have made a big play, but negated by the hold.
So 10-yard penalty there from the spot of the foul. Bring up 1st and 18, and Harrell will get it. He'll change direction, and he'll try to go right. He's going to try to beat Baldwin, who makes a great open field tackle there on Caden Harrell, as Harrell tried to go to the wide side of the field there and make a play. But, man, number 2, Owen Baldwin, that's a tough tackle for a sophomore out in space.
That's 2 big tackles that he's made. One against Ben Harmon early, and that one against Caden Harrell. And it is very difficult to bring down Caden Harrell out in the open field. And all he did, he did textbook what you're supposed to do when you're going against a big guy. You explode towards their legs and really take them out, and that's exactly what he did. Went towards those hip pads, got his feet out from under him, and brought him down.
Yep, Harrell gets 3 on 1st down. 2nd down and 15. Pistol formation, and Harrell will get it, go left side, and if you got a block there, and he will dive forward as out trying to lead the way there for Caden Harrell was number 50, Colton Southall, who had a great block and freed Harrell all the way up to the Cashion 47-yard line, and a big gain there of 12 yards will make this very doable 3rd and 3 for Cashion.
And that was one of those pistol formations that we haven't really seen this game yet, but we saw a lot of it in the Stillwater game where Caden Harrell is backed up there about 10 or 11 yards behind the line of scrimmage and really gives him the ball and a lot of head of steam and where he can use his vision to see where he needs to take that ball, and that time it paid off.
Harrell gets a break. Green now, he'll get the handoff. He'll go left side, waiting on a block, follows the blockers, tries to stay in bounds, and it will be close. They're going to mark him about 1.5 yards short. He did everything he could to try to stay in bounds and extend the run, but great job by Thomas getting out there wide. Number 55, Reese Drennan, doing a good job getting out there and maintaining his edge and keeping Brexton bottled up. So 4th and 1, Chris, here. What are you looking for? What do you got? 9?
Nope, he's
9's
not in the game.
He's on the sideline.
But I do see them giving the ball to Brexton and letting him try to get on the edge again just for that 1 yard.
Or we could see a Harmon keeper here. It's been a while since Ben kept it. And nope, he'll give it to Brexton, and he will fight forward as number 22, Jace Miller, was right there at the point of attack to try to keep Brexton from that line of game. But, man, great physical run as Brexton spins off and will get 3 or 4 yards and a Cashion 1st down.
Yeah, that time Coach Shackelford said, you know what? We need a yard. Boys, do y'all want to win this game? If you do, man up right here and get this 1st down, and that's what they did. Great job by the boys up front and just a great physical run and second effort by Brexton Green to spin out of that and get that big 1st down yardage.
Yeah, big here. Now Thomas getting in the danger zone as we're approaching the 7-minute mark of the 4th quarter. Cashion 1st down on the 50, and Green will take it. Nice patient run, waits for space, gets upfield, holds on, gets tackled by the helmet basically. But he'll get a good 9 yards on that carry as Cashion's kind of got it going now. And that's what we talked about.
This is the payoff right here.
And it's a payoff. You wait for the 4th quarter, you wear him down, and we'll see if Thomas can hold up, because not only is Thomas facing that physical fatigue now, but that mental aspect of 6:50 left in the state finals, you're down 14. That can wear on you too. So we'll see.
They were down by 2 touchdowns against Ringling with less than 5 minutes left. So these boys will not quit fighting. Cashion needs to continue this drive and really put their foot on the throat of the Terriers and make this game reachable and winnable for the Cashion Wildcats and make it almost unsurmountable to overcome.
Harmon will keep it. And, I mean, you can see it now. Thomas bringing everybody up. Everybody coming up to stop the run. Harmon keeps it, gets a good physical 2-yard run to at least move the chains here, but they were bringing everybody on that one.
Take a shot here at the end zone?
Like I said, it's Lynn Shackelford. He's not afraid to take a shot. And when you got who's number 19 split out there by himself, I mean,
no safety help
by
at
himself, wouldn't shock me. But back to the pistol, and maybe we're going to try to get Harrell going downhill. No, he'll step and walk up. And he'll come right to Harmon's left. Harmon will get the snap. Hand to Harrell. He'll go right and up the middle. Good cut. Caden Harrell. He'll bounce outside. Caden Harrell got to beat Mannering. Runs him over.
Oh, my gosh.
Keeps going. And he is out of bounds. Oh, what a run by number 9. We hadn't seen one yet tonight, Chris. But there is Caden Harrell. And there is fourth quarter Cashion football.
The payoff.
Yep.
And I just said it a while ago, and that time right up the gut. Got loose, got out to the outside, and then Mannering tried to bring him down up high, and that was not a good decision. Yeah. And I always talk about business decisions. That was a bad one. And he got smoked, ran over. Caden went for another about 4 or 5 yards, finally got taken down, but it's Cashion ball on the
15, right at the 15.
Right at the 15-yard line with 5:51 left, up 21-7. Put it in the end zone here, and it's almost ball game.
Yep, Cashion pistol to Harrell. He's going left, waiting for some room. Fights off one tackler, dragged down by another one as Baldwin gets him around the ankles and gets him down. But another good gain for Caden Harrell as it continues to pay off for Cashion as they are pounding it at the Terriers. A gain of 7, second down and 3 for Cashion. And Harrell will get a much-deserved break. And it looks like Jacob Farrow will enter the game.
We are on the 10th. This will be the 10th play of the drive. And, guys, this drive right here
started
is
with 9 minutes, I believe. We're 4 minutes in right now.
Started with 9:22 on the clock.
And we're going Wildcat. Brexton Green takes the snap. He'll go left, bounce left, wide, gets around the corner, and he is in the end zone. Brexton Green in the end zone, and Cashion takes a 3-score lead with 4:58 remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Cashion fans and this sideline, Chris, are starting to feel it. They are starting to feel it. I'm not going to say it. I am not going to say it, but I can feel.
Don't say it, but I will say this. That drive right there is a championship-defining drive. When you're up by 2 touchdowns and you need to drive the field to put this away, they did it in a manner of, I'm going to flex, I'm going to run right at your biggest guys, and we're going to get in the end zone, and that's what they did. The extra point just went up through the uprights, 28-7.
Chris Gibson is 4 minutes and 58 seconds away from a perfect prediction in the state finals. Impressive.
Guys, this defense though right here, I guarantee you, they want to keep that 7 on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
The reason why is because they have so much pride. This defense is what has really made this team be able to be in this position. Last week they held Pawhuska to 6 points.
Yep.
This defense is what has made this Cashion team what it is this year. The offensive numbers kind of overshadow sometimes what this defense is and how good this defense is.
Yep.
Guys, this is probably the best defense in Cashion history, and it's paying off dividends tonight and last week for Cashion to have the chance at their first gold ball since 1981.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you can't talk enough about the Cashion defense. And we've seen it all year, but it was with the level of competition in some of the games we've seen throughout the regular season. You still saw the offense putting up so many points, but when you get down to the nitty-gritty and you get down to the semifinals and the finals where that's where your hay's made, it really has shown what this Cashion defense, and like you said, I've been around since 05, and it's the best I've ever seen. And looking at the stats, I think it's the best we've ever seen.
Well, early on, Lane, early on in the season, he said this defense is legit. And he likes to use that word, legit.
Legit.
And it is. And that's the thing. And he said what makes this defense so good is just the speed at linebacker and the core of that linebacker crew. When you have a man out there like Caden Harrell that can just rally the troops. Tonight he hasn't been really on that many tackles because they're running away from him.
Yeah.
But who steps up? Every other person on this team, and they are just – but, heck, then you give him the ball 8 times on a drive that just is the backbreaker and win the game. It's man, Caden Harrell and this defense is one of those defenses that you'll talk about for a long time.
So Cashion's kick went out of bounds. Thomas took over on the 35-yard line, and on the first play, Jackson Ward goes to his main man tonight, Owen Baldwin, who gets his 10th catch of the game, brought down by Mason Manning, but a good sizable game for Thomas to start this drive. 1st and 10 now on the Cashion side of the field on the 47. Pressure up the middle. Jackson Ward trying to get away, and the ball's knocked free, and it goes out of bounds. A flag on the play.
It will be grounding, intentional grounding, so the ball will be
grounding. I thought maybe it looked like a fumble, like we're way up high, but it looked like a fumble. But if he did throw the ball, Chris, it's definitely grounding.
Well, he was in the grasp of Camden Maroney, and he got the ball out, but it definitely didn't make it back to the line of scrimmage, and there was definitely nobody in the area besides the Cashion Wildcats on the sideline.
Yeah, I do not believe you're protected by the out-of-the-pocket rule in high school, but
no, you are not.
I may be wrong.
If you're out of the pocket, you still have to get it
to the line of scrimmage.
You still have to get it towards, or for one, past the line of scrimmage. 2, you have to still get it in vicinity of a player. It's not like the NFL or college where you can just chunk it past the line of scrimmage.
It is intentional grounding, and that is going to be a huge penalty as the intentional grounding occurred way back.
The 36-yard line.
Let's see, the Thomas 36-yard line. They'll mark off 5 yards there. Loss of down. So we're talking about a 21-yard penalty here, Chris. And the loss of down for Thomas also very huge there.
Yes.
So 2nd down, I've got it at 31, but I may be wrong. Ward now in the shotgun. He'll drop back to his roll right, and he'll go right out to the flats to Hamberlin. There's nowhere really to go for him. And Cashion, not a smart play there. It looked like we had him wrapped up by the feet and may have had an extra shot there up high, which was the first contact was a little questionable to me. It's like, oh, don't. And then the second one definitely got the
he was
flag.
trying to get out of bounds, and Brexton and Caden were just coming full speed and carried it out off to the sideline, and they did call a penalty off the sideline.
So Thomas, this is a dead ball personal foul, so it will still be 3rd down, but they'll get a lot of that yardage back from that grounding call earlier.
Cashion's defense is just pinning their ears back and coming for that quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's
no prevent here for the Wildcats. They are bringing the heat. And making Ward work for everything because, hey, you said it. Hey, he did a great job against Ringling to end that game, bringing them back down the field. So they're not going to let him get comfortable. Here's Vandriff now bringing pressure. Vandriff from behind, and he will corral Ward, and he will bring him down. Jackson Ward will be sacked by the sophomore Jackson Vandriff coming from Jackson's left edge and chasing down the Terrier quarterback for a loss of 5.
And that's the thing. I mean, when you're bringing the heat like that, you've got, our secondary is so fast and so good. They're just kind of falling back into coverage, and there's nothing open for Ward. And Ward just doesn't have the time for the receivers to get open. And, man, our front line is just getting to him and getting him down.
4th down, 21. Now it's desperation time up the middle. Harold had him, missed him. Ward rolls right. Now he's past the line of scrimmage. He's going to run. No way he's going to be able to get to this. And he is leveled. Number
Justice
20,
Broadbent.
Justice Broadbent just brought the pain and finished that play. And Ward's still down. Hopefully Jackson Ward is okay. Give the kid credit for trying to do what he could to try to make a play, but he comes up limping on that knee. So let's hope Jackson Ward. Here comes his dad, head coach Bob Ward, coming out. Poor kid. As he goes back down, takes a seat, they're going to check him out. But what a hit there by Justice Broadbent on that fourth down play.
Ward started scrambling. I mean, it was 4th and 30, I think, and he started scrambling, and Justice Broadbent just had him in his sights, and Ward saw him coming, and Justice just exploded through him and just brought him to the ground. And I think as he was coming down, it may have twisted that knee, and he did have an ACL. I think I mentioned it in the pregame.
Yeah, he missed last year.
He missed last year and has just been a gritty, hard-working, hard-nosed kid to come back and lead this team to the state championship game.
Yeah, and it looked like maybe as he was making that run, he saw Justice coming and tried to plant cut and avoid him. And it looked like maybe that knee gave out. And, man, not only, just hurt that knee right there, but then you got to pay the price afterwards with the hit from Justice. So, he's being helped off the field here.
We saw this
last year. Same thing. I just thinking the same thing with Austin, man. Yeah. It's just, it's so eerie. It's the same situation. So, hoping the best for the Ward family and head coach Bob Ward and his son Jackson there as Jackson limps off the field here with 3:40 left in this fourth quarter. Cashion will take over on their own, let's say, 48-yard line, 1st and 10, and it is Wildcat Brexton Green time as we saw Brexton end it in this formation last week up in Pawhuska in the semifinals. We'll see if he can do it again here as he'll take it. He'll run up the middle. He'll break one tackle, break another as he keeps chugging forward, and he'll finally be brought down by Hamberlin after a gain of about 12 or 13. And
do you think he would have taken a knee at the goal line if he'd have broke that right there?
I don't think with 3:30 left he would have. I think he would have went into
he almost,
the end zone with a massive celebration.
They're bringing everybody in.
Yeah.
And he just almost broke that. And one tackler kind of brought him down there at the end, kind of got him slowed up.
Yep.
But, man, just keep hammering away. And that's what Shaq's saying. Guys, we got him on the ropes. We're going to keep pounding away on that front line. It's paying off. Those 1-2 yard runs all first quarter, all first half, even into the third quarter is paying off right now.
And Green will go left this time.
Look at that push.
And, Cashion, the offensive line, getting a little push now. And Brexton will go for about 5. And, I wouldn't be shocked at all, Chris, with Thomas bringing everybody that somebody's going to break one here. You see it happen a lot. But Justice Broadbent will come off, and now Ben Harmon will come back into the game. Brexton will get a little break. He'll split wide right, and now Mr. Harrell will sit up to Ben Harmon's left. Cashion will take the snap. 2nd and 5 here. We're down to under 2.5 left as Cashion will let this play clock bleed down as far as they can. Now back to the pistol for Harrell. He'll get the handoff going downhill. Big pressure now. He's got space going left. Caden Harrell stay in bounds and finish that run off as he does, and he'll have another Cashion first down, and it is almost victory formation time, Mr. Gibson, as we are approaching the 2-minute mark. A first down for Cashion, and unless Thomas wants to start burning those 3 timeouts, this game is in the books.
Yeah, you got to love it for these kids, and to win it like they did, you let them kind of get back in the game. It was 14-0 at halftime. Let them come out and do exactly what they had to do. Give credit to those Thomas Terriers to come out and do what they had to do to get back in this game, and then to just put a stranglehold back on it with a big answering drive, and then to go back up go back up to 28-7 with that just menacing, pounding drive all the way to the end zone. You got to love it for these kids. And listen to the Cashion crowd.
Listen to this. Open these windows. Listen to this crowd enjoy it as saw Kyler George come off the field and give Coach Shockford a big hug. And, Chris, this is going to be a special moment for Cashion as the 4th time in 7 years they've been in the state championship game, come up empty 3 times. And Cashion finally will strike gold in 2020, Chris. The year of all years.
16-0.
16-0, a record that, unless something pandemic-wise happens again, will never be broken. Cashion will be your Class A state champions and will finally strike gold in the Shackelford era after getting to that edge so many times. So happy for Coach Shackelford and all, Coach Wood, all the staff. They work so hard and to fight through, like I said, Chris, it's just not a regular football season at all.
Coach Wood and Coach Shack down there just giving a big old hug and both of those guys. And Kel Cochran is on that sideline.
Oh, man, what a year for what a year. Just this is such a deserving accomplishment for this entire program, the community, the school. And it's great to see it happen like this. Cashion taking a knee.
And I don't know what we're going to really do as
Thomas
far
is
as
going to go ahead. Thomas is going to go ahead and burn their timeouts here, it looks like.
As far as post-game, stick around. We might have a little bit of a breakdown, but I think we're going to break this stuff down, get down to the field.
I think we'll just leave it and come back and get it.
Yes. And but, man, we want to get down there and congratulate these kids. And we will have a little breakdown, and Nima always does great on the stats. But we want to get down there and really embrace those kids and those coaches and let them know how proud of them we are. But, man, you said it, what a year. From this summer, Coach Cochran's wife passes away. It kind of just really solidifies this team and says, hey, let's go do it for Coach Cochran. And then, get out here, and then COVID strikes.
Yeah.
And don't know if we're going to, Caden Harrell, Brexton Green, all these seniors are every game. They're thinking this could be our last game if they shut everything down.
Oh, yeah, you never know.
To maneuver the way through this season and to get 16 games, don't go out of bounds, to get 16 games in and finish it off, cap it off with a state championship game, or championship
season.
Win.
Yep.
Just an overall great feeling. I mean, I always tell my son, don't get too happy, don't get too sad, stay level-headed. But, man, it's hard to do that tonight for these Wildcats. You're just overjoyed for them.
So it'll be fourth down here. Thomas used a couple timeouts, so Cashion will have to run one more play. Thomas probably can get the ball back, and right now I think we're all just kind of watching and waiting when this Gatorade bath is going to happen. It's going to be a long 30 minutes of ceremonies for Coach Shackelford if that Gatorade bath does occur. So Harmon will go back to pass. He'll go deep, left sideline, end zone, landed Lagasse in the end zone. Touchdown.
What the heck are they doing? They blew up the
Harmon
score.
throws it deep. And Chris Gibson's perfect prediction goes out.
I don't even care.
It's all right. It's all right. As Cashion will lay one more on.
And the bath has happened.
In the end zone.
And so Shaq is covered in blue Gatorade.
That will do it. As Thomas used the timeouts and Cashion was faced with the fourth down, and so instead of risking running the ball and giving the ball back to Thomas, Cashion goes down the left sideline to the speedster Landon Lagasse, who breaks free and catches it for a touchdown. And with 20 seconds left now, Cashion will kick this extra point. Lance Christensen's kick is up, and it is no good. Looked like that one was pushed a little right. So the score will be 34-7. Chris, 20 seconds left as we'll await this kickoff, and another play or two from the Terriers as we're still waiting for the Gatorade bath.
No, it happened. It already happened.
Oh, we already happened.
Yep.
I missed it. Well, he doesn't look very wet, so maybe he had his rain gear on tonight. That's just smart if he did.
Yeah, that jacket looks pretty Gatorade safe.
Yeah, it
Gatorade proof.
Safe, but so 34-7, 20 seconds left. Cashion Wildcats, 2020 Class A state champions. And let's, Chris, before this ends, as we got a couple more plays here. How about this group of seniors? I mean, holy smokes, these kids. I mean, just a tight-knit, and I'm just so tough, hard-nosed group of kids. And, man, so happy for them. And
Got so close last year.
So close. And
you hated that after that game. You could just feel when you went around those kids after that game, they were saying, we will be back and we will win. And they did, and they followed through.
And then
they probably went down.
Go through a summer and a fall of, I might not have a season. They didn't know if they were going to have a season. Then week to week, are we going to get to play, not to play? And, man, everything they've been through, just emotionally and the physical commitment it takes. Man, so happy for not just this whole program, but those seniors. Man, this is a quite experience, and we are blessed and honored to be here to be able to call this and experience this moment with our Cashion Wildcats. So Thomas will have 17 seconds here. Jackson Ward obviously out after the knee injury earlier. So we'll see Thomas probably just maybe take a knee here. Nope, they're going to throw it left side. Number 1, Chance Simpson throws it left side to 24, Jackson Mannering, and he'll scamper forward for a first down. 11-yard gain there out of bounds with 11 seconds left. Just waiting for that final horn and make this thing official.
How many deep breaths do you think Shaq's taking in that last minute and a half? I mean, it's just like finally got over the hump, got that gold ball in the as a player, he'd happened 4 times for him.
Rainwater on the reception, and he'll scamper out of bounds after a short gain of 2. 5 seconds left. So it'll be one more play here.
Yep.
And this one will be in the books.
Yeah, and as a coach being that close that many times and finally get over that hump, I mean, it's just got to be a breath of fresh air. And
a lot of credit to Bob Ward and Thomas. Yep. They got us in 2014. Bob is, one of the nicest, greatest guys you will ever meet. Blessed to be able to work for him early in my coaching career. Great family man. And there's the pass, intercepted by Mason Manning. He'll take a knee, and that's it, Chris. Cashion is your 2020 state champs. Time to celebrate for the Wildcats as this one has finally ended. What a moment for Cashion. Wow, it happened. So blessed to be able to experience this and watch these guys celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, just to be a part of this whole season, you could tell it was going to be special from the very beginning, and you just hoped and prayed for these kids to have a chance to get to this position and for it to finally come to fruition and be here, and just to see the joy on those kids when that clock hit 0. It's all worth all the worry and the fretting and all the praying that we did for these kids to be here, and it's just an awesome time to be a Wildcat.
Yeah, man,
great day to be a Wildcat.
Yeah, great day to be a Wildcat. And like I said, congratulations, Thomas. Great season. Coach Ward runs a great program. I mean, what a tradition Thomas football has and carries with them. 12 state championships, 10-2 in state championship games over their lifetime of their 10-3, sorry, now, over the history of their program. So a lot of credit to them, but the trophies and the medals are making their way out to the field. Chris, the trophy presentations are about to commence. You want to wrap this up and head down there and hang out a little bit?
We will wrap this up, and just great year. Thank you, Chad, for sitting in.
Oh, no, thank you guys.
For Neiman and Bobby, me, to be a part of this, and Nima getting to be down there on the field, he wanted to be down there closer. His son plays on the game, played in the game, and was a big part of the game. Glad he was able to be down there. Thank you, Chad, for sitting in.
Yep.
And just a great win, great victory, great championship for these Cashion Wildcats.
Yeah, and hey, thanks everybody. I mean, the numbers this year, crazy insane of people viewing these contests. And yeah, thanks to Nima, by the way, who was in Morrison last night, broadcasting our basketball games. And but man, Cashion Wildcat TV is such a blessing to so many people in our community and outside of our community that follow Cashion athletics. So thanks to Cashion Wildcat TV. Thanks for the sponsors, Nima, Chris. Man, what they do on this thing is amazing. I mean, it is first rate, and it is the flagship, I think, of all of Squirtle schools that they have out there right now. So just love it. Love Cashion athletics. Love Cashion Wildcat football. Once again, congratulations to Lynn Shackelford, all his coaches, all his players, and everybody involved in their program. Congratulations to Cashion Public Schools on the 2020 Class A State Championship.